grades have been sent out and the commencement speeches have been made, but there is still one order of business remaining for the 1992-93 academic year. It's the boys Class AA Baseball Championship coming to you from Elmhurst Stadium. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jim Blaney. It's going to be a great game as we finish out the academic year as York takes on Morris in tonight's championship ball game. And calling the action for us tonight will be Mike Goldberg and Mike McDonald. Let's join them now out in Kane County.
Well, thank you, Jim Blaney, and welcome everyone to Sports Channel's coverage of the IHSA Class 2A Championship tonight as the Dukes of York take on the Redskins of Morris. Welcome to Kane County Stadium, Elmhurst Stadium, if you will, and yes, a change of venue for these high school championships because for the last 20 years, the contest has been held in Springfield. But yes, it's a change of venue and a change in tradition, start of a new tradition for one of these two baseball teams tonight. Joining me for tonight's telecast, Mike McDonald. And Mike, when you talk about the two schools, York and Morris, it's a David and Goliath situation, starting out with Goliath, and that's York High School.
York High School is a very strong hitting ball club, and they've done it throughout the tournament, and they've gotten hot through the tournament, and that's what you're seeing here tonight, and that's why they're here.
Enrollment of almost 2,000 students. We'll get to why it's David and Goliath in just a moment. Talking to their skipper, he says, though, the thing we have to do is continue to hit the ball very well. They've done it thus far. They hope to do it throughout the tournament. You see, they're a strong hitting team, opportunistic, and one that wants to win this evening.
I think so. We've done so well so far in the state tournament, and there's been a few games during the regular season where we haven't. We've been consistent, though, I feel, throughout the season. We hope it continues, especially tonight, of course.
Indeed, especially tonight. Won a semifinal game this afternoon by a score of 17-3. Lots of runs.
Well, you have those in a tournament. Usually you're looking 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, but today they just started hitting the ball well and just producing runs, and that happens.
One of the main reasons for success, it comes from behind the plate in the form of David Sloan, just a junior, but a great leader for this team.
Dave is their field general. He's out there. He can really do the job well. He catches. He's got a strong throwing arm. He's thrown out a lot of runners, and he's done that all season. So he's going to be the guy that's going to be their leader again.
Staying with our David and Goliath theme, we now talk about David, and that is Morris High School, an enrollment of over 800 students, a team that feels they haven't gotten the respect they deserve.
And that's true. They're a smaller school. For the last 3 years, they've scored or won 30-plus ball games, and they're here tonight, and you're going to see some exciting baseball coming from them.
A record of 109-8 over the past 3 seasons. They started out this year by winning 31 straight games, but to earn respect is to win state championships. That's exactly what these young men plan to try to do tonight.
Yeah, it does, Mike. You know, our kids have worked hard, and they're working towards to get that respect from the other teams in the state, and we've worked awfully hard this year. A great group of kids, and I think tonight's going to climax it all by getting us a state championship.
Dennis Steele, very confident when I talked to him earlier today, and very cognizant of the fact that if they do not win tonight, then it could be a Cinderella story that comes to a crashing end.
Well, that's true, but I mean, you're here. You're in a championship ball game, and you played, you know, that's one of your goals for the season, and they've got nothing to be ashamed about if they lose, but we never know.
Great performance from the sophomore Quinn Schaefer in the semifinals, and that sets up maybe the best guy in the tournament to be on the mound tonight for the Redskins.
Kelly is an outstanding athlete. He was drafted by, I think it was Minnesota in the 7th round, and he's going to be an outstanding pitcher or shortstop. He's going there to play short. His arm is excellent. His ball carries when he throws, and he's going to be on the hill throwing tonight, so you're going to see a good velocity from him.
On his way to be a member of the Michigan Wolverines, guys like Barry Larkin and Chris Sable, just a couple of major leaguers who came out of the Big Ten on the campus in Ann Arbor. Tonight, a couple things to look for. Lots of speed on the base pass from Morris and the big bats of York. We look forward to it. It's going to be a good one.
Yes, it will.
And we're getting ready to start it up the 1993 Class 2A State Championship right here on Sports Channel. Welcome back to Elmhurst Stadium. A perfect evening tonight for baseball. It's been a perfect weekend. Attendance records set, so the change of venue has been a good one so far. As you see, the York Dukes, their starting lineup and the whole entire roster being announced right now. Let's check it in. Number 1, John Contact. Jason Crossfeld. Pitched in the earlier game this afternoon, the semifinals. Didn't have great control of his stuff to start things off, but things went awful well. Peter Modges, number 12. And Jay O'Malley. Jason Oswald, number 26. That's Nathan Reese, number 14. John Schish getting a nice hand. A lot of people from York High School in attendance this evening. Larry Skidmore, number 27. Larry, a pitcher, junior. And Adam York, number 19. He's also a pitcher and a junior. 6'5", 203. And here's the starting lineup. Batting first will be number 21, Sean Bennis. Second baseman, Justin Halpenny. He'll bat in the number 2 spot. Had 6 RBIs yesterday. That's a tournament record. And there's your catcher, the man we talked about in the open, David Sloan, number 17. Jeff Dahl, a very important man in tonight's baseball game. He'll bat in the cleanup spot. He's also the starting pitcher for the Dukes. And Brad Schmidt. Matt Winton, the shortstop. Rory Mira, the designated hitter again this evening. Chris Kaufman, the third baseman, batting in the 8th spot. And the right fielder, number 10, Jim Stamper. And Tom Triplett rounds out the order. Triplett, number 24. And the Redskins of Morris, well represented today. They all made the drive up from Morris, Illinois. As a matter of fact, their head coach told me earlier that he thought they might shut down the town tonight and come in and cheer on this team towards a state championship. Longtime head coach Denny Steele, in his 10th season as the head coach, graduated from Morris High School in 1968. And his assistant, Todd Kroos. And also another assistant, Jeff Cole, who he credited with doing a great job this year. He says, you don't coach at any level without great assistants, and there are a trio of them here for Morris. Paul Kindlespire, number 1. It's nice to have the opportunity here to meet the players as they're being announced, because there's so many great players who play in this tournament that you start off with 700 teams as you get a look at the young man who pitched earlier today, Quinn Schaefer. And it's nice that everyone gets a chance to be recognized, not only here at Elmhurst Stadium, but also on Sports Channel. That's Phil Jorstad. And Todd Schultz, you'll see the cast on his right arm. Schultz is the quarterback for the football team. He had a .034 ERA early this season before he broke the hand, and he's been out for the whole season, but still an inspirational leader. You see Chris Hamrick, number 15, coming out. Prior to that was number 27. And there's Jake Lambros. And John Overton, number 20. Jason Ruggiero, number 25. And you talk about a team that is reloading. A lot of sophomores and juniors getting quality time this year. Sean Burnley, one of those guys, number 26. The reason they have is because this team has been so dominant. They've won a lot of baseball games big, and that's got the young guys like number 35, Wes Shannon, number 32. Nate Hogus, gotten them a lot of time to play this year. And now we're getting the starting lineups. That's number 5, Chuck Laird, a junior. Batting in the 2 spot, Ryan Terry, a senior. He's the second baseman. Man, oh man, he'll get a big cheer, won't he? Kelly Dransfeld in the 3 spot in the batting order, and he's the starting pitcher tonight, number 16. Mark Ricidi, Nice young man. Had a chance to visit with him after the semifinal game tonight. And you talk about a young man who's focused. That's a guy right there. Sean Babcock, the right fielder. He is also a senior. Justin Knapp, 2 doubles so far over the weekend. Ryan Golden, the senior. He's the designated hitter tonight. Chad Larson, he will not bat, but he will play shortstop because that is Dransfeld's regular position. So we move to the number 8 man in the batting order, and that's this young man, Jordan Walker, another senior. And believe it or not, a sophomore has broken into this senior-dominated lineup. His name is Justin Olson, a 300 hitter on the year and batting in the number 11 spot. We're going to take a timeout, come back here to Elmhurst Stadium after this. The Honoring of America, sung well this evening here at, it's tough to call this Elmhurst Stadium because it's commonly referred as the Kane County Event Center. And of course, during the regular season, the Class A season for professional baseball, it's the home of the Kane County Cougars. Yes, this is the same place, and will also host the Midwest League All-Star Game a week from Monday night. Right now, a special presentation being made right behind home plate as we have assembled 115 members of the Illinois High School Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. These men have qualified for the Hall of Fame by having coached over 300 varsity wins. Our president tonight, a special presentation for the stadium and Kane County Event Center. Nice plaque that is going to be left here. As I mentioned before, it's the start of a tradition with Kane County Stadium, Elmhurst Stadium, hosting the state championship. So not a better place to put the Hall of Fame plaque.
Hall of Fame plaque, Kane County Cougar Stadium, as its permanent site of residence. In the 30 years of our association, we have transported this plaque back and forth to various sites, including some of the basements of our offices. There are currently 150 members who have been enshrined in our Hall of Fame and who have done so very much for Illinois baseball. We are very proud to have these coaches and their names now on display in the Kane County press room right outside, where the public can now view their names on a regular basis. We want to thank Kane County for offering the House of Plaque. I'd like to have a special thank you to Fred Rosenthal, Bill Larson, and Jim Duga, Geneva High School. We are fortunate to have a number of those Hall of Famers present tonight. Please join me in honoring these men with a warm round of applause. Thank you very much.
And among those many members honored, our own Mike McDonald. He'll be joining me back up here in the booth in a second. Mike McDonald of Morton, Illinois High School. Wally Bearns of the University of Illinois Chicago, UIC. We've got Tom Johnson of Bremen High School and Richard Itchy Jones of the University of Illinois. Ron Klein of New Trier. They were in the tournament this weekend. Les Miller from UIC. Mike McDonald, as I mentioned. Don Olson from Maine East. Irish O'Reilly. Jim Phipps from Niles East. Randy Rose from Eisenhower. It's a strong bunch of coaches who know a bit about baseball, because to earn that many victories in Division I is just an incredible accomplishment. And it's a great looking plaque that will stand here for a long time here in Geneva, Illinois. Now we've got a ceremonial first pitch.
For the first Illinois High School Association Class AA State Baseball Tournament Championship game to be played here at Elmhurst Stadium, home of the Gamecocks Cougars, will be the two men you see on the mound. The right-hander is Schaumburg High School baseball coach Paul Groot.
That's Paul Groot, the right-hander, is the PA announcer from Schaumburg High School.
The left-hander is IHSA Assistant Executive Secretary.
And the Assistant Executive Secretary
Gentlemen, give you the plea.
with the ceremonial first pitches, if you will, the righty and the lefty. Not bad. And shortly we will play baseball for the state championship. As the crowd anxiously awaiting, as our viewers at home, the start of tonight's baseball game. Let's see how these teams got here so far to the state championship. The Morris Redskins with a record of 39-2. The York Dukes a record of 31-8. Both impressive. Start out with the Dukes of York, the visiting team tonight. And as we mentioned in the open, lots of runs scored. 13-3 over Naperville Central, and then Providence, New Trier, and St. Lawrence, the victim earlier today. And the Morris Redskins have not scored quite as many runs, especially here in Geneva, but they've had great pitching. Just 2 earned runs allowed in the 4 games on their road here this evening. Let's check out the lineups again. Give them to you for tonight's 1993 state championship. The Dukes will line it up this way. Batting first in center field, Sean Bennis. The second baseman, Justin Halpenny, in the number 2 spot. The catcher is David Sloan. He'll bat 3. Jeff Dahl, the starting pitcher, in the cleanup spot. Then it's Brad Schmidt. Matt Witten is the shortstop. Rory Miro is the DH. Jim Stamper is the right fielder. And Tom Triplett is your left field, batting in the 9 spot. On the mound tonight for the Morris Redskins, the young man, Kelly Dransfeld, who we talked about in the open. And when I talked to his catcher today, he said, well, what do you want to know? I said, I want to know how he throws the ball. He says, he throws it hard, and he throws it over for strikes. And Morris defensively. Justin Knapp in left field. Chuck Laird, the center fielder. Sean Babcock is the right fielder. Justin Olson is at third base. Chad Larson comes in because Dransfeld is the regular shortstop for this team. So watch the shortstop position and Larson. Ryan Terry at second. Jordan Walker at first. Mark Brasidi behind the plate. He has thrown out 17 of 21 would-be Steelers this year. And who are the men in blue? Flores, Albert, Kerr, Schaefer, Wilford, and Arena. First pitch called strike 1, and we are underway. The 1993 State Baseball Championship. Bennis, a .234 hitter. And the weather, as I mentioned the last couple of days, just perfect. 81 degrees here as we throw out the first pitch, and not really a trace of too much wind outside with that one, and the count evens at 1 apiece.
In this whole tournament, Mike, the wind's been blowing in towards third base from center field, and it has been somewhat of a factor. The outfielders have had to play shallow throughout the whole ball game, which they're not really used to doing, and I really feel it makes them a little bit uncomfortable out there, you know, playing that type of depth.
Bennis so far pretty effective in the tournament. Here's a guy who gets on base. He's been a key throughout the regional and the sectional. Takes a call strike there, and the count goes even 2 apiece.
And when he gets on base, he's a threat. He can run a little bit, so it'll be exciting to see how this matchup pairs up throughout the game.
The 2-2. Fastball just missed. And talking to Doug Mullaney, he said the one thing we've done well so far in the tournament is jumped on that first pitcher. That's one thing they really want to do to Dransfeld tonight.
I think they need to get to him early, yes. And there's a start.
Leadoff man's on base, Sean Bennis.
Now, in a type of ball game like this, Mike, I think too, what we might see, even though they are a strong hitting team, you're going to play for runs. So it could be, you know, a bunting situation here. They may try to get the runs early, and that's how they may get to Kelly.
Justin Halpenny throwing up great numbers this year, an average over 400. Batting from the left side, he's a switch hitter. Going with the left side against the right-handed pitcher, obviously, and should let those at home know that that is his strong side.
Well, it is, and you know, he does have power. So, and as you saw there, that shot, my theory, you know, I'd probably went for the bump, but he was swinging away right on the fastball. One thing about the pitcher, Kelly, you know, being an infielder, his ball may have a tendency to be straight rather than have some run to it, because as an infielder, you know, you're throwing across the diamond, and you want a true fly to the ball, and that could be a difference too.
Halpenny with 27 RBIs on the year. 6 of those coming yesterday. Tied a tournament record, or actually broke the tournament record with 6 RBIs in yesterday's baseball game. A big win over New Trier.
And that should have been, you know, probably a little better game from both, you know, from New Trier's side, but you know, that happens in tournaments, and like I say, you know, they got off to a good start.
So no attention paid to Bennis yet. The count is 1-1. The batter, Justin Halpenny. This is inside, and the count goes 2-1. There'll be a little discussion very quickly between Mark Ricidi and Kelly Dransfeld.
I think what you're seeing here is just trying to settle him down a little bit. You know, first inning jitters. You can't let the game get out of hand right here. You got to stay calm. You got to be able to throw the ball, get it down in the strike zone, and throw strikes, and let the, if they're going to beat you, they're going to beat you with the bat, not the walk.
Most of the weekend we've seen the first inning rough on pitchers because there's got to be some nervousness out there. This is the state championship.
Oh, it is, and you know, neither team's been here, so they don't know what to expect. You know, all the marbles are right here in this ball game, so there's tension, a lot of it.
Count 3-1, man on first and Sean Bennis, nobody out. We're just underway here at Elmhurst Stadium. The 3-1, high, and he walked it. Interesting, as you mentioned, though, that the differences in philosophy, if you will, between the Morris Redskins and the York Dukes. The Dukes never even thought about trying to steal a Sean Bennis, where I think if the leadoff man gets on base for Morris, he's flying.
Well, yes, yes and no, too. I mean, he walked the first hitter. Has a tendency, his ball's been up. You know, you see that, you might give it a shot to say, well, let's see what he does on the second hitter. He just walked him. A lot of his pitches have been up in the strike zone. You got first and second, no outs. You got Sloan up, who's an excellent hitter. You know, he's been kind of, like as I mentioned earlier, the field general for this ball club. He's hitting .353 with 9 home runs, 39 RBIs. Hey, you know, you're going to probably give him the green light to swing away. So here's a good opportunity if I can't say his name, Kelly. If he gets the ball down in the strike zone, he's going to be swinging away.
Dransfeld misses with the first. Right outside, ball 1. Sloan, 3 singles thus far in the tournament. He was 1 for 4 this afternoon. Scored 2 runs, has 3 homers in the regionals and sectionals, and described to me by the skipper as a great clutch hitter.
You know, and he's been a team leader. I mean, that's the type of ball player he is, and he's come through for him all season, and he's right there. He's a little nervous, and you know, he was anxious and wanted to hit that fastball, and of course Dreyfus put it up in the strike zone, or up high out of the strike zone, and he tried to hold up, but he couldn't.
1-1 the count.
There's base hit.
That'll drop in, and that should score our first run of the afternoon. Might score 2. They're holding up the second runner at third base. Sean Bennis comes around to score. Justin Halpenny to third, and David Sloan with another RBI.
As you can see, his pitch is a little bit up. He got out and took the ball the opposite field to right center. Good contact, good solid hit.
And still lots of problems. 6th double on the year for Sloan, his 40th RBI, because we have nobody out and now 2 men in scoring position. For Jeff Dahl, young man who had an incredible day at the plate. 3 for 4, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs this afternoon. Swings at the first pitch, fouled away.
He's, as you can see, Morris has the infield drawn in for the play at the plate. They don't want a big inning here. They want to try to keep it down, try to keep it to just 1 run. You don't have anybody out yet.
Inside, and he is ahead of his first batter, 0-2. Dronsfeld likes to come inside, as we should see that trend develop maybe more as he gets more relaxed this evening on the mound.
He's throwing a lot of fastballs. He's not throwing much of the breaking ball. He's got to show that in order to, they're just going up and swinging the bat, and you got to mix the pitches up, change speeds a little bit on the hitters.
A little bit too far inside for ball 1, and keep in mind that Morris has only allowed 2 earned runs in the sectionals and semifinals coming into tonight's game, so that was just the 3rd earned run allowed by the Redskins.
That's fantastic. That's really unbelievable in the state tournament series.
Nobody out. We're in the top of the 1st inning. Inside pitch. Count goes to 2-2. Jeff Dahl, number 8, 356 hitter. Paul Penny's on 3rd. David Sloan with the RBI double on 2nd. The 2-2 right up the middle. Should be played by Laird, and it is. Tagging up to throw in, and nobody's going anywhere. Good play, and they respected the arm of Chuck Laird.
Well, I tell you what happened on that play there. The runner on 3rd, Penny, when the ball was hit, broke for the plate, and he should have came back and tagged right at the start. So that may have cost him a crucial run in this ball game in the state championship game.
So the first out recorded, coming to the plate, number 13, Brad Schmidt. Schmidt, a 371 hitter, 25 RBIs on the year. Caught the corner with that one. Well, I think right now, Big Kelly Dransfeld's thinking, let's strike this guy out.
Well, if they can
get away with this, allowing just 1 run, you got to think that's outstanding.
If he can get out of this inning, yes. Just 1 run.
Lace down the line. That'll score 2 runs. Coming around to score, Hallpenny. Sloan motoring on to 2nd with a 2 RBI double. Brad Schmidt. He just laced it down the first base line.
That was credit a single and an error.
They're going to call it a single and an error, but nonetheless, a great bit of hitting by Brad Schmidt.
That was a breaking ball, curveball inside, and Schmidt got his bat out in front and pulled the ball down the line.
And with 1 out, still a man in scoring position. Matt Whitten at the plate. First pitch down in the dirt, knocked down nicely by Ricidi. .383 hitter, Matt Whitten. 4 for 6 thus far over the weekend. 2 doubles, couple singles, and 5 RBI. Through the gap. We'll have men on the corners.
Boy, good aggressive base running.
Matt Whitten on the throw, moving all the way into 2nd base. So 2 men continue to be in scoring position, as it is already a 3-0 lead for the Dukes of York. Rory Mira, he's the DH, number 16. Got a chance to add to that RBI total. Swung on and missed. 0-1 the count.
Looked like he was going for downtown on that one.
Indeed it did. So So Schmidt at third, Winton at second, Mira at the plate. Call strike, 1-1. Check that, 0-2. Swung on and missed. First strikeout of the evening for the right-hander, Kelly Dransfeld.
He's calling for the ball up in the strike zone, and he hit the glove right on the money.
Well, that's that strikeout Dransfeld wanted about 2 batters ago, isn't it?
I guess.
Now he needs to get out of the inning. Gets ahead of Jim Stamper quickly. Stamper, the third baseman for the Dukes. Swung on and missed, 0-2 the count. Kelly's starting to groove it now.
He's looked like he's getting more settled in and more relaxed and starting to throw the strikes and mixing his pitches up a little more.
Sit down, young man. Strikes him out on 3 straight pitches, but damage done by the Dukes of York in the top of 1, scoring 3 runs. Morris coming to bat. Move it to the bottom of the first inning here in Geneva, Illinois, the 1993 2A state championship. And this is how the Morris Redskins come to the plate. Their leadoff man, Chuck Laird, has been their leadoff man all year long. Second baseman is Ryan Terry. Kelly Dransfeld, he'll bat in the number 3 spot. Mark Rusidi is the catcher, and he'll bat cleanup. Sean Babcock is the right fielder. He'll bat number 5, followed by Justin Knapp. Ryan Golden, tonight's DH. Jordan Walker, and the third baseman, the sophomore, Justin Olson. The pitcher this evening, Jeff Dahl, the man they want in this position. 8-1 on the year, 2.33 ERA, and I should mention, Mike, pitching on just 2 days rest.
Well, I know the coach talked about that in the interview after the semifinals, and he said that, you know, and it's true, this is the type of ball game that you have. We'll get back to that. Go ahead. Set the defense.
Setting the defense, Triplett, Benison, Stamper, Coughlin, Winton, Halpenny, Schmidt, Sloan behind the plate, and Dahl the pitcher.
Dahl is on 2 days rest. It's always, you're never sure whether a pitcher can go that. You don't like to really throw him, but, you know, the weather's good. He didn't throw a whole lot of pitches. I think he threw somewhere between 85 to 95 pitches in the quarterfinals, and he's coming back here just 2 days rest, but the adrenaline's flowing. If he feels good, if his arm's good, I think you can use him, and then you have to, in the later innings, be ready to bring somebody in case he does get tired.
Chuck Laird, your batter, he's a junior. Got a junior and a sophomore in this lineup. The number 1 and number 9 hitters from 2 through 8, all seniors. This young man, a good player, batting average of .420, just 1 for 5 in the last 2 days, but he scored 2 runs, and if he gets on base, there is trouble. Pops it up, left side. Matt Winton, the shortstop, calling everyone off, and he hauls it in, 1 away.
You know, the balls have been carrying like, you know, with that wind blowing in, everything's been shading and hooking to the third base foul side. That's a long way to go to make the, you know, to make a play on that ball there.
Ryan Terry, 3-year starter, contact hitter, second baseman. He's a senior. First pitch down low, ball 1. Fouled away, count goes even. I spoke of those 8 seniors. All of them were significant players last year when Morris reached the Elite 8. They were knocked out early by Belleville West, and of course yesterday they avenged that loss of a year ago by defeating Belleville West, and then their road continued with a win over Crystal Lake South by a score of 1-0 earlier today. Well,
you know, you get in a state tournament like that, and you're, you know, they're basically juniors last year, and you know, that experience carries a lot coming into state tournament play. You can play a little more relaxed. in that type of a series.
The Morris Redskins jumped out to a 31-0 start. We mentioned the record over the last 3 years in the Open, 108-9. Now, some people will say, well, they play in the little 7 because there are critics around the state, but I don't care where you play. 108-9 is quite impressive.
You still have to be able to get people out and have consistent pitching day in and day out, and he's had that, and that is a remarkable season record for 3 years. I just take 1 year.
How about that? Take 1 year with over 30 wins. They've had 3 in a row. 2-2 the count to Ryan Terry. Dahl shaking off the sign from David Sloan. Now Terry will retreat from the batter's box.
Sometimes you got to play a little mind games with the hitters as a pitcher. You got to shake off signs and make them think a little more, and that's why you step out of the box and regain your thought and get your composure and step back in and be ready to hit again.
Count goes full. 3 runs in the top half of the first inning for the York Dukes. That's 1 more run than it has been scored the whole tournament against the Redskins, and they've got their first base runner. First walk given up this evening by Jeff Dahl. And here's a perfect situation for Kelly Dransfeld. You know it's going to come throughout the night every time he comes to the plate, but he has to be upset with himself because he didn't have his control early on. Walked the first 2 men. That led to a 3-run inning. Hey, let's get a good swing on the ball and get your team right back into it. Well, then you can go relax on the mound.
This is where kids have to learn to separate the ball game. When you're playing defense, you're defense. You don't think about what you did at the plate. When you're at the plate, you don't think about what you did out in the field. So you have to separate the game every time. In the same way with the pitch, if you get a call at the plate that you didn't like, you thought should have been a ball and they called it a strike, you got to forget that and be ready for the next pitch.
Dransfeld, as you saw, and that wasn't a typo. .504 batting average. Ryan Terry gaining some attention over at first base. This team loves to steal bases. They have set a state record with over 290 stolen bases. Matter of fact, Denny Steele told me they're approaching the national record in steals.
That's amazing to have that many steals in a season. And throughout this tournament, they've been very aggressive on the bases. And they run very well. They're very heads up, smart base runners, and that's why they're here in a championship game.
And quickly, I know exactly what the skipper's thinking. You know they're going to steal. You know they're going to try to get to you mentally. Just calm down because we've got a .504 hitter at the plate.
Well, he's telling them too, don't worry so much about him. We've got a 3-run lead. Let's concentrate on the hitter and, don't focus all the attention at first base. We've got a good catcher. He can throw the ball and, we can get him out. So let's just hold him close, but we don't necessarily have to throw over as much as. I think he's, dividing his concentration too much to first base right now. I mean, you got a 3-run lead. You don't have to do that.
Doug Mulaney in his 4th year as head coach at York High School. It's interesting. He said to me before today's game, he said, we need to keep Morris under 3 runs. Well, that may turn out to be very true as they put up the 3 spot in the top half of 1. 1-0 the count. Runner on first, 1 out.
It changes the complexion of the ball game when a team jumps out 3-0. I mean, there's a lot of things you can't normally do that you've done throughout the season. It'll be a lot better if you're starting off with, 0-0.
And the Dukes have scored some runs, that's for sure, in the tournament. Strike called, 2-1 the count. 12-1 over New Trier, 17-3 earlier today over St. Lawrence. Just 9 hits in that game, but 9 runs scored in the 6th and 7th innings. The 2-1. And the count goes to 3-1.
I think you might see him go here. I think a good pitch to run on. A pitcher doesn't want to walk. He's going to come in over the plate with the ball. The hitter's going to be ready. It's good hitting pitch, good hitter's pitch to hit.
Right back at the pitcher, knocked down nicely by Dahl. He throws to second. They go for the double play. It won't even be close. He holds up his throw. Wisely done by the shortstop, Matt Witten, but a good job done by Jeff Dahl to knock down that baseball and pick off the lead runner.
This ball's hit hard back at Jeff Dahl, and he gets the glove up to block it, knock it down, and it's in time for 1 at second. And Terry did a nice job of helping to break up that double play.
That brings up the cleanup hitter. Number 19, Mark Ricidi. He's a senior, 302 average. Swings at the first delivery, out towards Jim Stamper in right field. He's under it and hauls it in, and that will retire the side. So the York Dukes get out of trouble in the first inning, and after one complete here in the 1993 state championship game, it's York 3 and Morris nothing. The broadcast rights to this evening's Class 2A championship game have been granted to Sports Channel by the Illinois High School Association solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any reproduction or retransmission of this event without the written consent of the IHSA and Sports Channel is strictly prohibited. Mike Goldberg, along with longtime head coach at Morton High School, Mike McDonald. It's the 1993 state championship game. York with a 3 spot in the top of 1. And their number 9 hitter to lead things off, Tom Triplett, the left fielder. Kelly Dransfeld having some trouble with control in the first inning as he walked the number 1 and number 2 hitters. But he settled himself down to record strikeouts of the last 2 men he has faced, and he's ahead in the count quickly, 0-2 on Triplett.
Well, it looks like he's settled down and now is starting to pitch his game.
This is with the off-speed delivery. Count goes 1-2. Popped up. Coming in, Sean Babcock, 1 away. That'll move us to the top of the order. Sean Bennis, the senior, walked and scored a run in the first inning. Dransfeld gets a call strike.
He sure is moving his ball in and out and up and down. He's mixing his pitches up pretty well now, and it's, you know, at first inning, you know, neither team has been in the tournament. A little nervous, and here he is again, 0-2 on this hitter. So he's settled down and starting to pitch very well.
Well, we talked about the trend that has probably not just developed in this state tournament, but in many in the past too, of just the young men being a little nervous. And hey, the pitcher has to get the control early on. The shortstop might be nervous in the first inning, but might not be a ball coming his way. Pitcher's got to get it going right away.
Well, that's true, and you know, and yet these are kids too. You know, we have to realize that you know, 16, 17-year-olds, some 18, and it's got to be nervous.
But he has found his stuff as of late, and just missed with that delivery. 2-2 the count to Sean Bennis. 2 strikeouts on the night, 2 walks for this young man, Kelly Dransfeld. This just missed.
Ball's just a little bit up, a little high curve ball, high in the zone.
No doubt about that one. Strikeout number 3 for Kelly.
And this one looked like it caught the outside corner. There it is. Fastball low, about knee high, a little bit to the outside. Excellent pitch.
Well, you saw the 2 walks given up by Kelly Dransfeld. The second one was to this young man right here, Justin Halpenny, the junior. Walked and scored a run, as did Sean Bennis in the top half of the first inning. Halpenny's a junior.
Back up! Good power!
You hear one of the coaches yelling, back up, good power. That's one of those baseball signs and messages that I can even understand, Mike.
You know, and again, yes, he does have good power, but I still, you know, I'm not going to play too deep on a night like this if the center field flag is blowing pretty good. So that wind is coming in towards home plate, and I don't think you're going to see many balls hit over people's heads tonight.
But imagine most of these high school teams, the 0-2 just misses, 1 and 2 the count, play in smaller stadiums or parks, if you will. Is there a tough, I guess, move, a tough change to come into a big stadium like this for the championships and possibly even playing under the lights for the first time?
Well, you know, that could be in a lot of communities, because high school baseball, there are not many high schools that do have lighted fields, but yet if it could be the same.
Yeah, indeed, and we see the stuff coming from the arm of Kelly Dransfeld. 2 strikeouts, we move to the bottom of 2. Welcome back. A beautiful night for baseball here at Elmhurst Stadium in Geneva, Illinois. The change of venue for the first time since 1980. Well, the first time ever being played here, but the first time since 1980 that the championship was not played in Springfield. So far, though, as a high school coach, how do you like the change?
That's nice. Beautiful ballpark. The fans, the seating here seems a lot closer than what it did at Springfield. You really feel a part of the atmosphere here. I think that they have a lot of things going on, a lot happening around the ballpark and keeping the fans excited.
Sean Babcock to lead things off. He'll be followed by Justin Knapp and Ryan Golden. Babcock's first appearance at the plate, a .336 hitter. He's a senior right fielder. Takes a second pitch inside, and he's ahead in the count, 2-0. Sean yet to get a hit so far in this state tournament. Swings and fouls it out of play.
Sean looks like a nice little hitter, even though he hasn't, you know, doesn't have a hit in this tournament, but he's hit .336 over the season and has been, you know, a contributor to this ball club. And a lot of times when you come here, that happens. You do get the collar, but I think he's going to contribute tonight.
Well, you're right about that, Coach. That's the first hit of the night for the young men from Morris High School. Sean Babcock with a single right back up the middle. Now you're going to save that one, seeing you predicted it, right?
Well, I did, didn't I? I just said
absolutely.
He was going to contribute and he's going to get a hit.
And guys, let's watch him on the base path. Great speed, 34 stolen bases for Sean Babcock. Fouled back, and the runner was going, indeed. Justin Knapp falls behind in the count, 0-1.
I think that might have been more of a hit and run than the straight steal, because he didn't take off till the pitcher started his delivery.
What's the worst thing that can happen to an opponent of the Morris Redskins? Letting that leadoff man on. Of course, it hurts in any baseball game, don't get me wrong, but with these Redskins and the way they run, it sure can create some havoc, can't it?
They are. That's what I was impressed with the most, how aggressive they were on the bases. Stealing bases first and third situations, stealing third from second. They just been so aggressive, and it's been kind of their trademark in this tournament.
Checking up on Babcock, Jeff Dahl. The count is 1-1, nobody out. We're in the bottom of the second inning. 3-0, the Dukes of York leading the Redskins of Morris. A one-hopper, misplayed at third base by Chris Coughlin, and all hands are safe. And they say E5 on the play.
Chris, I think Chris got a little anxious here and tried to make the play to second before he caught the ball, and that's what usually happens when you boot a ball like that. It was a good hop. It was about shoulder high to him, and I think he pulled his eyes off to turn to make the put out at second base, and just over anxious.
Batter Ryan Golden, the senior. He's the DH. 2 on, nobody out for the Redskins. Trying to get right back into this one. Pitches high. How about this? This is high school baseball at its best. Chris Coughlin is the second string third baseman because Jeff Dahl is on the mound. Coughlin's in the lineup. And the exact thing that I was told today by Doug Mullaney is Chris sometimes gets caught in between hops.
Well, yeah, but you know, but it wasn't really in between hop. I think he just got a little excited, tried to hurry the double play, and that's why he booted the ball. He just pulled off of the ball too quick.
Again, we watch the shortstop position from Morris because that's where Chad Larson is tonight with Kelly Dransfeld on the mound. It's not like professional baseball where you have a guy pitch and that's all he does and makes millions of dollars for doing it. These guys are generally the best pitchers at the high school level, are probably generally your best position players, aren't they?
Right, right. You usually see a lot of times, a lot of ball clubs, a shortstop who usually is your best infielder is going to be playing short, and he probably also pitches and does everything else for you. But these guys, these young men here have been a tribute to their ball club throughout the season, and they've been in and out of that lineup, so you know they know what's expected of them.
23 RBIs on the year for Golden. Like to add to that total right now as the count goes 3-1 on Ryan Golden. Babcock on second. He singled to start the inning. And an error by the third baseman, Chris Coughlin. Puts Justin Knapp on first. Golden at the plate. Walked him. The second walk given up tonight by Jeff Dahl. He walked Ryan Terry in the first inning. He made a brilliant play on the comebacker to the mound from Kelly Dransfeld. Turned that into fielder's choice and then got Mark Ricidi to fly out to right field to end the inning. But bases loaded, nobody out. Here in the bottom of the second, Morris Redskins trailing by a score of 3-0. Jordan Walker swings and misses on the first delivery, a fastball.
Well, York's defense is set for the double play. They're not going to come in and worry about, you know, giving up one run. They want to go ahead and try to get the double play to get themselves a couple outs in the inning, and they'll give up that one run at this point in time in the game.
Jordan looking for his first hit of the state tournament. It would be a big one. Fouls it back. He's behind in the count, 0-2. He's got 15 RBI on the year. As we've mentioned on a couple occasions, not a lot of runs being scored by Morris thus far. 2-1 and 1-0 winners over Belleville West and Crystal Lake South. So just 3 runs, but they've only given up 1. That's why they're here tonight. The pitch, chopped in front of the plate. Hustling on it is the pitcher, and they get the out at home. So a heads-up play by Jeff Dahl, and David Sloan stayed home, allowed Dahl to get to the baseball, and they get the lead runner.
That's what he had to do. There was no other choice here if they wanted to get the. If you watch this, you know the ball is just topped. It doesn't roll out very far, but if he leaves, there's no way he can come back and get the force out, and all we have to do is just, you know, tag the base. And which he did. So, you know, they saved themselves giving up a run on that play. And the same situation at hand here. Bases loaded, 1 out. The infield is back to play for 2. So they haven't lost anything.
And the sophomore, Justin Olson. This is such a senior-laden team. Justin Olson, a sophomore. Good opportunity here in the bottom of the second. Get the Redskins on the board. Takes the first pitch high, a ball. It's ironic, too, that a sophomore and Quinn Schaefer was on the mound this afternoon, a lefty. He got the victory, which was very important for these Morris Redskins because it enabled Dennis Steele to pitch his ace tonight, and that being Kelly Dransfeld.
That's true. You know, for a young man as a sophomore to come into the state tournament and do what he did today is outstanding. That gives him a lot of credibility, and you know, people are going to see how well he pitched and be watching him in the future.
They don't rebuild at Morris lately. They just reload. 2-0 pitch. Got the corner, strike 1.
Talking about Morris, he said their sophomore class was 29, 1-1, I think. So, and his best pitcher was up here from that sophomore class playing varsity. So might be heard from again.
1 away, bases loaded, bottom of 2. 2-1 pitch, swung on the run, the center fielder Sean Bennis. He makes the catch. Will we have a play at home? Not in time. Justin Knapp tagging up. and putting the Redskins on the board. So a sac fly for Justin Olson.
Okay, what you want in this situation, you like to have the base hit, but if you can't get the base hit, you want a fly ball to the outfield so you can score a run. There's a shallow fly to right center. Center fielder fields the ball, throws, but it's not in time. As you can see, as the runner scores easily.
Moves us to the top of the order. And Chuck Laird. Moving to third base. Wisely was Ryan Golden on the throw. Walker had to stand pack at first. So Laird with a swing of the bat and a base hit can make at least a score. 3-2.
You might see some base running here at first base with the leadoff hitter up.
Inside, ball one.
Just for the fact that if he can steal the base, that's fine. You got runners at second, third. If not, you're going to come back with your leadoff hitter next inning.
And as aggressive as Dennis Steele has been with his young men on the base paths, you're probably right. Somebody's going to be moving. Squared away to Bond, takes a strike. There's going to be a little discussion on that call. As he assisted. Todd Croce, he didn't like it at all.
No, I think he was asking to see if he might have called it for swinging. But he pulled the bat back. It was a called strike. It was a high strike. Top of the strike zone.
2 on, 2 out. 1-1 the count. Leadoff man Chuck Laird, 420 on the year, popped up to the shortstop.
There he goes.
And there goes your runner. Throw down short as they were thinking about the double steal, which we saw earlier today, although it was unsuccessful for the Redskins. So they weren't even worried about that number 2 runner. They were thinking about the possibility of a double steal there.
That's true. They let Walker go, and they cut the ball off to see if Golden would try to come in on the throw, but he didn't.
The double steal this morning, it was a 1-0 game in the 6th inning against Crystal Lake. Morris tried the double steal, a questionable call at home plate, albeit the runner was called out, but they didn't need that insurance run because they got such great pitching from Schneider. Chopper towards third, getting on it Coughlin, strong throw, and he gets it. So Chris Coughlin redeems himself, gaining the final out, but nonetheless, a run on the board for the Redskins, and after 2 complete, it's 3-1. The 1993 NBA Finals continue tomorrow at Chicago Stadium. The Phoenix Suns and your world champion Chicago Bulls. Bulls with a 2-0 advantage, and Sports Channel with your post-game advantage. Our coverage will continue as it has in games 1 and 2. After the game, tune it right over to Sports Channel. Norm Van Leer, Steve Cashel, Julie Judelson, Tom Dorr, Johnny Kerr. You name it, we've got it. Post-game from the locker rooms, from the press conferences, and Norm's analysis tomorrow, immediately following Game 3 of the 1993 NBA Finals. Bulls looking towards the sweep. Realistically, they need to win 2 of the 3 games to be played at Chicago Stadium to get that three-peat. We're talking high school baseball right now. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. The Dukes of York leading the Redskins of Morris by a score of 3-1. David Sloan had an RBI double in the 1st inning. And he's going to have his second base hit. A liner right up the middle for Sloan.
A nice hit right up the middle. Nice swing.
And the pitcher Jeff Dahl set to come up.
He hit the ball hard last time. He hit a line shot to center field just like that, but it carried a little more where the center fielder was able to handle the catch.
Off-speed delivery. Misses, ball 1. You know, the base runner on first base, David Sloan, an interesting story. Here's a kid who, his coach said, has a lot of enthusiasm, basically. He throws his helmet a lot, throws his bat. gets upset, not with his teammates, but with himself. He's just a great competitor. He eats and sleeps baseball. There's no question about that. Call strike one. But he was throwing things a lot. His coach said, you know, man, you're going to have to stop doing that because it's going to come back to haunt you. Got to control your emotions and be a great leader. He's done a great job of it in the last couple of weeks, but it's ironic that it has come after he threw a bat in practice, Mike, bounced right back up, hit him in the cheek, cost him 7 stitches. So if you're going to throw things and they're going to hit you and it's going to cost you 7 stitches, that's probably going to teach you a lesson pretty well.
Well, it should. It should. You know, and you don't. Coaches don't tolerate that kind of behavior, and you know, it's unfortunate that a young. I know where he's coming from. Like you say, with the intensity he has, you do get upset, but you have to stay within yourself.
And by all means, everything that was said by Doug Mulaney about David Sloan, very positive. He said, I like the fact that he's that competitive. I like the fact that he wants to play the best that he can for himself and for his team. But again, it's all about maturity and controlling your emotions. So in no way are we saying that David Sloan is a bad young man.
Oh, no.
He's just a very intense human being.
That's right. And like you say, you want those kind of ball players. You want those ball players with that intensity, because that's the way you have to play the ball game.
So Sloan's on first. The count is 2-2 to Dahl. Inside, and the count goes full. Doug Mulaney also told me that with the 7 stitches laced up in David's face, he made him catch the doubleheader the next day, too.
There you go.
More than any coach can say, huh, Mike?
Hey, you're right.
Count is full. Popped him up. Should be played easily by Sean Babcock. 1 away. So 1 away for Brad Schmidt. Had that single, advanced to second base on an air. 2 RBI single for Brad Schmidt. He and Sloan responsible for driving in the 3 Dukes runs. They all came in the first inning off of 3 hits.
He hit a curveball the last time up. It was inside, so he got the bat out in front. See how he pitches him this time.
They laced it right down the first base line.
Yes, he did. They started him off with a curve here. Now he's ahead. Now he can put, you know, he can pitch the way he wants to here. He can throw the fastball low and out, low and away. Or he might come with another curve.
With the 2 earlier tonight, 27 RBIs on the year now. Upping his average to 378. But right now, it's not about upping your average. It's about winning a baseball game and being a state champion, because regardless of whatever happens the rest of your life, nobody can ever take that away.
No, that's true. It's, I tell you, there's a lot of teams that never get to this point, and a lot of teams never get to the state champions or the state quarterfinals. And to get here, to play in it, you can't, you know, that's just a memory that's going to stick in your mind forever.
And one that you got to experience back in 1984.
Right, and it's the only time our school's ever been there. I was there as a player 20 years prior to that, and we finished tied for 3rd. And so I experienced it as a player and got to experience it as a coach.
0-2 pitched. Ball 1.
And now as a color commentator.
That's exactly right. Matter of fact, the last couple of years as a color commentator, Mike McDonald here on Sports Channel. So 1-2. Kelly Dransfeld has really been effective since he settled down in the first inning. He's recorded 4 strikeouts, a couple of pop-ups to right field, and the shot single by David Sloan. Inside, 2-2 the count. Struck out 4 out of the last 7 batters he has faced. Looking for strikeout number 5 here with a 2-2 count. 1 out, man on first, and David Sloan. And he gets it. Strikeout number 5.
Okay, Brad went for a bad pitch here. It was up and out of the zone, and he just kind of took a weak swing at it.
Kelly did a good job of setting him up for that pitch with the inside.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Wolverines are going to like this young man, I think. Matt Winton. Curveball misses. Count goes 1-0.
You know, as college to be coach, Coach Freehan was here the other day in the series in the semifinals. He made a great play at shortstop to end the ball game with a throw in the hole, deep in the hole at short, and threw across the diamond. And I tell you, he's got an arm that when he throws, that ball carries, and I always say that he could hang clothes on it for a week. You know, it's just that true of a flight over there, and there's no rainbow. It's just on the line and on the money.
Good move towards first base. Almost picked off the base runner, David Sloan. Count goes even. 1-1 for Kelly Dransfeld. The DH, Rory Mira, due up next if Winton can continue this inning. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the visiting Dukes. Pitch out. Count goes 2-1. 1 hit, 1 run scored thus far for the Redskins of Morris.
Now we had 1 pitch out. You know, you can play mind games here. Now, will he try it again? Will he try to run? Should we pitch out again? You never know what's going to happen in this situation. There he goes.
Runner going. Shot towards center. On the run, Chuck Laird. Laird waved off by Sean Babcock, and the inning comes to a close. We played 2.5 here at the IHSA 1993 Class 2A State Championship. Scenic Geneva, Illinois here. And if you're a baseball fan, you got to get out and watch the Kane County Cougars, because this is a great facility and the new host for the Class 2A State Championships. This one will always be remembered because it'll be the first one played here between the Dukes of York and the Redskins of Morris. Elmhurst Stadium, the Kane County Event Center, just off of I-88, easy to access. And the host tonight to what should be an entertaining baseball game has been thus far, with York scoring 3 runs in the first. Morris got 1 last inning. They'll try to get some more going here with Ryan Terry, Kelly Dransfeld, and Mark Ricidi due to come up, all facing the youngster Jeff Dahl.
I'm amazed at some of these statistics that these kids have. You know, you're looking here with Terry, 25 RBIs, 37 runs scored. Just phenomenal. Of course, they've had a great year.
They sure have. Pops him up there, played easily by Jeff Dahl. A lot of 3-sport athletes too, because the school is so small. And these Morris young men, a special group, because they were 10-1 in football, averaged 55 points a game, 23-5 in basketball. I mean, these guys know how to win. And that young man knows how to get base hits, evidenced by his average of over 500. You can add a couple more points to it now. Kelly Dransfeld with a single up the middle.
There's a fastball down the center of the plate. He gets the barrel out front, drives it right back up the middle for a nice base hit.
Second hit of the evening, given up by Jeff Dahl. Brings up the senior, Mark Ricidi.
There he goes.
Runner going. Hit and run was on.
Good execution, but he just didn't get the barrel out quick enough to take it to the opposite field.
One thing that Dennis Steele really stresses is discipline, because he told me a story a couple of nights ago. They played a game and one of his guys didn't swing on a hit and run. He pulled him right out of the game, right there. And the young man didn't say anything because he knew that he did not exemplify the fundamentals of baseball properly.
Well, that's, you know, that's one way the kid will learn for sure if you do that. And if you can afford to do that, you know, it's fine. But, you know, a lot of times lessons are taught that way, and some coaches believe that philosophy to pull a player out if they miss a sign. So, you know, whatever that philosophy that coach has, it's worked. So Kelly here now was going the time before, and I think they may try it again. Now, the young man batting, Mark Ricidi, he's been a 4-year starter at catcher for him, and he's been quite the team leader. Coach talked highly of him in the conference, and that he's been a great team leader. He knows how to call pitches and really has control of the pitcher, and that's quite a compliment.
Yeah, nice young man. I got to visit with him as they were in the dugout area, ready to go into the post-game press conference after their victory this morning. A very confident young man, very well spoken, and a guy who you can tell is an inspiration to everybody, not only because of his on-the-field activities, but I would imagine he's a pretty strong student and a pretty strong leader in the community, obviously. He has a count right now against him. 3-1, one away. Check back to first base by Jeff Dahl. The 3-1 from Dahl. Runner going. Into Matt Winton. He throws on a first, and there's 2 away. So because Dransfeld was running, he was able to get into second and break up the double play.
He almost held up because he didn't know where the ball was. He didn't take a peek to see what the hitter did with the ball. He heard the hit, and he kind of slowed up. If you watch this, well, you can't see him, you can't see him take that peek or look to see what happened. There was some confusion there when he went down to second base and did not know where the ball was. And that's one thing that you got to do, is take a peek as a runner as you're running to steal a base or on a hit and run to see what the hitter does to prevent the double play.
Runner going, Sean Babcock. Fouled away and out of play.
Seems that Morris is starting to get into their running game a little bit. Starting to feel a little more relaxed, a little more comfortable.
Morris Redskins, a team they say looking for respect. They've been ranked as high as 9th nationally in the USA Today poll, but haven't eclipsed those numbers in the state. How do you explain that? They don't get ranked 1 or 2 in the state, but they're recognized as number 9 in the nation.
Well, I'll be quite honest, I don't understand the rankings period throughout the state or national, how it works. And so they may not have been heard of in this state. And that's unfortunate because they are a good ball club.
31 straight wins to start off this season. They were in the state championships a year ago, losing the opener to Belleville West, as we mentioned earlier. And I guess the one thing in the national rankings, because you can't know everything about every little town and every little team in that little town, is that 31 wins will hit you right in the side of the head and say, hey, this team probably deserves to be ranked somewhere.
That's right. I mean, you just don't go out there and you got to go out and earn those ball games throughout the season, and the pressure builds as your win streak continues. And
here comes Dransfeld, a single right up the middle. Play at the plate, cut off. 3-2 ball game. Sean Babcock, you talk about the pressure building. The pressure was on that young man, and he came through. His second single of the evening.
It's a nice line drive up the middle, up to dead center field. Center fielder comes in, fields the ball cleanly, but just doesn't have the arm to get it in. And Dransfeld had the great jump on the base hit. So now look for this guy at first to run. Babcock gonna go.
There he goes. Knapp. He'll sacrifice himself for a base runner, huh?
Well, he took a swing. He just swung through the ball, just to kind of try to distract the catcher a little bit, give him the opportunity to get to second. Now he'll concentrate on getting the base hit. Good jump. Here's the swing through the ball.
Kept his head down, though.
Yes, and the catcher slipped on this throw here. Dave slipped as he tried to throw it, but I don't think it would have been in time anyway.
There's the good swing. Line to Jim Stamper, and a diving catch, and what a play in right field by Jim Stamper to rob the Redskins of tying the game. But nonetheless, they do get a run on a couple of hits. We played 3 complete, and our score is 3-2. Well, what a play to end the inning. Jim Stamper, look at the stab.
Oh, this is a nice catch, and what's neat is that the IHSA uses 6 umpires in this state final game, and the official, which you didn't see in the picture, Gerald Arena, was right there to see the catch, and that he had control of the ball. Stamper had to control the ball after he made the diving stop.
Good shot indeed, opposite way for Justin Knapp, but the inning comes to an end. But nonetheless, we got ourselves a baseball game. Top of 4, 3-2 our score. The line, 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. for the Dukes of York and the Redskins. 2 runs on 3 hits. Rory Mura, the DH, followed by Jim Stamper, who made the outstanding play in right field, and Tom Triplett. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up here in the 4th inning for York High School. Enrollment 1950. We're calling him Goliath. Winton plays it on a couple hops. Long throw, and he gets...
There's a young man that made the nice catch at the end of the last half of the inning, and Mike comes up and see what he does.
Takes the first pitch inside. I have a feeling he's going to sit at home with his grandkids, going to roll that VCR back and forth and wear out that spot in the tape someday.
Probably.
This is how your granddad did it when he was in high school. The 1-0. This is with the off-speed pitch. 2-0 the count to Jim Stamper. Just a junior, 16 years old. Swung on and missed.
He has kind of an unorthodox stance. He's, has what we call an open stance. He faces the pitcher pretty much, but he does stride towards him, which closes it back up.
So the 2-1 on the way. Fouled off. Count goes to 2-2. Count remains. 5 strikeouts on the night for Kelly Dransfeld. Got the DH, Rory Mira, to ground out to the shortstop, Chad Larson, to begin this 4th inning. 1 away, 2-2 pitch one more time, popped him up. Will it stay in play? No. It's over the screen as a hustling Mark Riccitti was trying to chase it down.
Looked like he'd have went right through that backstop to get it too if they'd let him. Pretty determined young man.
Amazing his success with the arm. Is released consistently under 2-1, the coaching staff told me. Thrown out 17 of 21 would-be Steelers this year, 40 of 46 last year. I mean, Morris can run and they don't let you run against him. It almost doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, it does.
If you're like the Morris coach, it does, right?
Right. Yeah, you like to have a young man like that. I think ball clubs are based. You have to have a good catcher. One, to work with the pitchers, to be able to have the pitchers have the confidence in throwing to you, especially the breaking ball. If you have a tendency to throw in the dirt and he can block the balls, this is what you're wanting from your catcher. Leadership. He's got to be, like I mentioned before, a field general. He's got to have a good arm, good throwing arm, so that if a guy does get on base, the pitcher can feel a sense of security of throwing any type of pitch he wants, and he knows that catcher can throw a runner out.
Laird underneath it in center field, and there's 2 away. It's interesting tonight, in Riccitti and David Sloan, we've got probably 2 of the finest catchers in the state of Illinois. So the theory that you've just given me holds true for the 2 teams battling for the state championship tonight.
Oh, it does. You can keep their runners out of scoring position, and they're scared to run. They're a little intimidated to run. And yet, as a coach, you have to do it to see if they can do the job, see if they can throw a runner out or not. So as an opposing coach, they're going to test him and see if he can do it. And then, of course, if he does, then that kind of changes your philosophy and what you're going to do in that ballgame.
Tommy Triplett takes the call strike. Count goes even, 1 apiece. He's the junior. Popped up to right field to open the 2nd inning this evening. We are in the top Top of 4, 3-2 score. Straightaway center, Laird underneath it again. And the Dukes are retired. It's the 1993 IHSA State Championship here on Sports Channel. Bottom of 4, 3-2 score. Redskins 0 for in the first, got a run in the second, run in the third. York opened up with 3 runs in the top of 1 on 4 hits in an air. 3 hits thus far from Morris, who has slowly gotten back into this baseball game.
Well, I think they're feeling a little more comfortable. They're starting to do their type of ball game, and that's being aggressive when they get on the bases, and I think they're just going to continue doing that.
The 7, 8, 9 hitters due up here in the bottom half of the 4th. Ryan Golden to lead things off, followed by Jordan Walker and Justin Olson. Ryan walked in the second inning. Laces a base hit right up the middle. Well, that's 3 straight balls we've seen driven up to center field. 2 of them were outs, though, for York, but a base hit starts us off with Jordan Walker coming to the plate. Good bit of hitting by Ryan Golden.
Last time Walker dribbled him right out in front of the plate. Oh, boy.
Runner delayed and went. Throwing air, and he'll move on down to third base. Sliding at first, and he's safe. Golden with the delayed steal. Throw gets into center field, and he motors all the way into third.
Nobody said anything, and like you say, it was a delay. He hesitated, took off, and when the catcher threw the ball, was slowing through the ball, there was nobody there up the middle. And this is what's kind of unfair, I think, on the ruling too. If there's a hustle going to third base, Stone will end up getting credited with an error because of the throw, and it was a good throw, but nobody was there, so it was a mental mistake on the middle infielders, and Morris ends up with the runner at third base with no outs.
Keys against Morris tonight. In the words of Doug Mulaney, keep them off the bases. They will run.
That's right. And they are a good running team. They keep the pressure on your defense the whole ball game.
So Golden, a line shot single, advances to third base on the miscommunication between the shortstop and second baseman. Catcher knew what he was doing. He got the throw off, and as you mentioned, a good throw. And a meeting of the minds on the mound as they're trying to work this out so it doesn't happen again. It's funny, too, because you get a guy like Doug Mulaney and Dennis Steele. They played this game. Some have enjoyed success to great degrees. Some guys you'll find played in the minor leagues or spent time in professional baseball like yourself. And you sit on the bench, you sit in the dugout, and you know these things are going to happen. But sometimes, Coach, you just can't tell the kids. You just can't prevent it, can you?
No, you can't. You know, it's up to them. You know the situation at hand. Here you got no outs. You've got the, Walker's up, and number 8 hitter. All you need to do here is get the ball to the outfield. You want a fly ball in the outfield to bring that tying run home.
1-1 the count to Jordan Walker. Going after your fly ball there, fouls it back. Count goes 1-2. Ryan Golden with that single. That was his first hit of the state tournament. He was 0 for 3 coming into tonight. Stayed at 0 for 3, drawing the walk in the second inning, but the first hit and some good base running may produce his first run score.
Walker dribbled out in front of the plate the last time with the bases loaded for the force out at the plate.
This time he hits it right at third base. Coughlin looks the runner back. The runner's going to try to score. They've got him caught. Throw down to third. And a bad situation for the Redskins as the Dukes apply the tag and get the double play. Well, that's Dennis Steele standing there, so he may have very well sent the young man, but didn't commit enough one way or the other and got himself caught in the squeeze, and that's the end of that.
Well, that's a tough situation. Yeah, the ball was hit to the third baseman. Coughlin. He looked the runner back, makes a nice throw to first base, and the runner bluffed. He started to come, then he held up, and then he just got, you know, he was too far down the line to get back in time, and so the only hope he had was to get, you know, a foul up on the rundown with bad throw, but it didn't work. So they just kind of cost him a run in that particular inning right there.
So what a change of pace right here, as now there are 2 away, and Justin Olson, the number 9 hitter, the sophomore, had an RBI sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Count is 2-0 on Justin Olson. Jeff Dahl delivers. Just misses with the fastball, low and away.
I'm not too sure about that put out at third, but I think it might have went 5-3-2, 5-2-6 for a put out. That ball was handled quite a bit on that rundown.
For those who are scoring at home. There he gets the call strike. 3-1 the count to Justin Olson. 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of 4. 3-2 lead for the Dukes of York. The 3-1 pitch from Dahl. Swung on, another. Played by Jeff. He makes the throw, and the side is retired. 4 complete as the Dukes get out of a jam, and they maintain their lead. The high school athletes around the state of Illinois on summer vacation, but that does not mean that we don't present IHSA activity throughout the summer here on Sports Channel. A replay of the 92 Class 5A Football Championship coming your way Saturday, June 28th at noon. So for those of you parents whose young men played in that championship game, you forgot to tape it then, don't worry about calling us for a dub. Just roll your VCRs on June 28th at noon. The game's shown in its entirety, the 1992 Class 5A State Football Championship. This is the 1993 Class 2A State Baseball Championship from Elmhurst Stadium in Geneva, Illinois. I'm Mike Goldberg along with Mike McDonald. We have played 4 complete, and the score, the York Dukes 3 and the Redskins of Morris 2. Sean Bennis, the leadoff man, to lead things off here. In the top of 5, count 2-0. Kelly Dransfeld had trouble early. Basically, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys he faced, Mike. Since then, he has really pitched a heck of a ball game.
He has settled down, like I say, you know, first game or first inning jitters. That'll do a lot of times, and he's settled down. He's mixed his pitches up well. He's thrown strikes, worked ahead of hitters. And, I think he's going to, you know, be a factor here in the main part of the game.
Has retired 11 of the last 12 hitters he has faced. That's coming right back at us. And he's done it by throwing strikes, obviously, because what got him in trouble in the first inning was the back-to-back walks to this young man, Sean Bennis, and then Justin Hallpenny. Then an RBI double by David Sloan, who has 2 of the 4 hits tonight for the Dukes. And then you've got a run on the board, and then a little more trouble with a big single for Brad Schmidt that brought in 2 more base runners. But since then, he has been, I think, ahead of, I'd say, 90% of the batters he's faced.
Right, and that's the key. You have to work ahead as a pitcher. You get behind, then you're going to have to come in fat on a pitch where the guy, you know, the hitter up there is ready to swing and tattoo the ball.
3-2 pitch missed and walks John Bennis for the 2nd time this evening. The 3rd walk from the arm of Kelly Dransfeld.
And all his walks have been to the first 1 or 2 hitter in the lineup.
Bennis, Hallpenny. He's going to step into the box momentarily. There you see Justin Hallpenny. Walked and scored a run. Struck out in the 2nd. Sean Bennis, same thing. Walked and scored a run. Struck out in the 2nd. Now he's walked in the 5th. Will he score a run? That's yet to be seen. Nobody out. The leadoff man was Bennis, and they check back towards first base. Big swing there. One thing about this York team is they're very disciplined at the plate. They'll wait for the pitches, and they feel mentally that they can hit anybody.
That's true, and they're good disciplined hitters. You know, they're very patient, and that's two things you got to be: patient and disciplined at the plate. Wait for your pitch to hit, keep your weight back.
And deliver one and straighten that out a little bit, and you're in good shape.
That was a curveball, which a lot of times hitters, you know, if they don't pick the pitch up right away, all the weight's going to be transferred forward, and they're not going to have anything left to swing with. He kept his weight back, he waited, he adjusted on the ball, and then tried to go with the pitch to the opposite field.
0-2 the count. Dransfeld ahead again. Just missed the outside corner, 1-2. It's ironic that you've got a team like York that has scored almost 30 runs in 2 games, and a team like Morris that has scored 3. But if you look at the season batting averages, Elmhurst York 285 as a team, Morris 365. So statistics mean a lot of things, and a lot of times nothing, huh?
That's true. You know, it depends a lot of times what you're doing as a team. I'll come back to that. A nice high fly ball to center field.
Chuck Laird hauls it in. Last 3 outs have come the way of Chuck Laird. Pop-up from Jim Stamper, Tom Triplett, and now Justin Hallpenny. You were talking about it. Depends on what you're doing as a team with those stats.
Well, you know, a lot of times teams will do things and they'll try things throughout the season, sacrifice bunt, you know, the bunting game a little bit. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Or you're hitting the ball. If you have a runner at second base, you try to hit the ball to the right side on the ground so you can advance the runner to third base. All those things, and it doesn't show up in your statistics.
David Sloan had an RBI double in the first, had a shot for a single in the third. He's 2 for 2 on the night with an RBI. Makes the first pitch a strike. Off-speed delivery from Kelly Dransfeld. 1 away here, top of 5. Sean Bennis, your base runner. He's at first. Dransfeld, the pitch out, and nobody's moving anywhere.
Now again, you know, you threw a pitch out here. Do you throw 2 in a row, or will you try to send your runner on this pitch?
We've got Jeff Dahl up next. Swung on and missed, strike 2. The heart of the order for the Dukes, 2 through about 6, 429, 353, 356, 371, 383. Get through that and things get slightly easier. But this heart of the order has been productive thus far today, and another base hit. Opposite way for Sloan, and holding up at second, Sean Bennis. So a 3 for 3 night thus far for David Sloan.
Raises your chances for all tournament team. Of course, the job he's done behind the plate, I think he's going to earn those honors too. So
now, he was 3 for 8 coming in for tonight. The intensity and the way that his coach talks about him is something that I think the media pays attention to too, because they know very well that the coach has talked about his leadership, and that should definitely get him a nod. And tonight's performance definitely a strong one. And throughout the regionals and sectionals, 3 home runs. Not hard to sell us on this, huh?
No, and he's done well, you know, throwing runners out in the tournament. So he's done a fine job.
All that after recovering from 7 stitches in the cheek. Jeff Dahl with the first pitch, a strike. Delivery. Just missed outside. 1-1. Bennis on second. Sloan on first. Dahl at the plate. Dransfeld looking back towards second base. Ryan Terry trying to close in and keep the young man, Sean Bennis, honest. He can wheel at the fastball. As you mentioned, the fastball doesn't have a lot of movement on it, though, for Kelly Dransfeld.
Right, if you watch this ball here, it's pretty straight. There's not much movement, but he's got some good velocity, and he kept it away from the hitter in the outside corner, which is a little tougher to hit too.
Count goes to 1-2 to Jeff Dahl. Tried to sucker him into the high fastball. 2-2 the count, 1 away. The 2-2. Swung on. Should find the gap, and it does. Rounding third, heading for home, Sean Bennis. And it's 4-2. An RBI single for Jeff Dahl.
Jeff gets out in front of the fastball. Oh, it's a curveball, excuse me. And the ball was line drive to left center. And good enough to drive in another run, which builds a little more cushion. That shows you how crucial that last inning was for Morris, not scoring that run. Now they're 2 runs down. 1 out, runners at first and second.
And the first delivery to Brad Schmidt, a called strike on the outside corner. An RBI for David Sloan, 2 for Brad Schmidt, and 1 for Jeff Dahl. 4 runs on 6 hits thus far for the Dukes of York. Got the corner again, 0-2 the count. Sloan on second, Dahl on first. Number 16, Kelly Dransfeld, trying to cap off what has been a tremendous season for the Morris Redskins. 39-2 coming into this evening. The 0-2, high and inside. Schmidt, 371 entering the night, 374 now, with those couple RBIs in the first inning that I mentioned. Struck out in the third. Straightaway center. Laird is under it, and he hauls it in. Four of the last 8 hitters have popped up or lined out to center field.
I know it. He's throwing well for the most part. You know, he really is. And you know, the walk hurting. The walk a batter, you know, a lot of times that'll come back to haunt you, and it happened to do that in this particular inning.
Twice Sean Bennis has walked. He's the leadoff man, leading off the top of 1 and the top of 5. Both times he scored a run, and that's our difference, 2 runs right now. This is Matt Whitten. Whitten quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. Third inning. Matt flew out to right field. Sean Babcock making the play, and that into the inning in the third inning.
Well, you know, you're talking about that walk situation. Dransfeld has walked 3 batters, and all 3 of the walks have scored. Whereas Dow, he's walked 2, but they didn't come back to haunt him. Sometimes, you know, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I was looking through the tournament record book, and there was a situation, you know, one of the tournament teams in the title game walked 11 batters, and they still won. Wow. The state championship that year. That was Pekin High School back in 1951, I think it was.
51.
51.
Remember that game? No, I really
no,
don't.
that was my high school coach.
Okay. There's no way I was going to see it. I can at least share that one with you, Mike.
I was a little short. I think I was about 5 or 6.
Did we do that game on Sports Channel?
I don't think so.
Okay. But indeed, it just depends on what you do when you get those runners in scoring position. Dransfeld really has pitched well, but some good hitting by the Dukes, and they came in bragging that they were the best hitting team coming into the tournament, and really they've proven that fact thus far with all the runs they've scored.
And yes, they have, and they've gotten very timely hits with men on base in scoring position. They haven't left a lot stranded there. you know, throughout the ball games, and that's been the difference. You got to come through. The hitting's got to be there in the tournament.
Brundles will be moving. Count full. 3-2, 2 away. Top of 5. 1 run already in. And we'll try it one more time. Fouled it off the leg of Mark Rossetti. Matt, the shortstop, had a hit in the first. 1 for 2 on the night. 5 RBI so far in the tournament. Swung on, where else? Center field. Backpedaling and hauling it in, Chuck Laird. But again, the walk haunts the Morris Redskins. Another run on 2 hits, and York leads. Middle of 5, 4-2. 3 in the first, 1 in the fifth. 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Dukes of York. Morris. A run in the second, run in the third, 4 hits and an error. They trail 4-2. Bottom of 5, Morris Redskins, York Dukes. One of these 2 teams will win their first ever state championship. As I mentioned, the Redskins were here a year ago with 8 seniors. They played in the Elite 8. But for Elmhurst York, here's a team who the last 3 seasons hovered around the 500 mark. The beginning of the season, a lot of the young men said, we can win the state championship this year. It wasn't until about 6 weeks ago, though, that I think Doug Mullaney, the skipper of York, started to agree with his players. But since then, he said, I have made some calls, I've done some things, but these young men are the ones hitting in the crucial situations, getting on base, and they are the reason we're here, because they believe in themselves.
And that's half the battle, is believing in yourself. You know, you can tell a kid that, you know, he's a good ball player, and if they don't have self-confidence, and you know, and you try to tell the guys that, you know, your team is a good team. If you put it together, you play together, you can do it. You know, if they don't believe in that, then it's going to be hard to do. It's a total team effort in this game.
Chuck Laird, Ryan Terry, Kelly Dransfeld to lead things off. There's Chuck Laird, number 5, center fielder. Popped up to shortstop, grounded out to third base in the first and second innings. .420 hitter coming into tonight. All strike, count goes 2-2. High school baseball, 7 innings. Keep that in mind. 9 outs between here and the end of the game for the Redskins. Chopper got through the hole between short and third, and on base with a leadoff single. Chuck Laird, his first hit of the night.
And this is not a good sign for York. The top of the order, leadoff hitter gets on. A lot of things can happen now.
Ryan Terry, 0 for 1, walked, popped up, foul play. Pitcher Jeff Dahl hunted it down in the third inning. His third plate appearance tonight. 7 doubles on the year, 4 triples, 25 RBI. And Chuck Laird can steal. Chuck Laird can steal. 60 stolen bases, a record for Morris High School and also for the state of Illinois. I would put about everything I own on the fact that that young man's going.
He'll go at some point here.
Not that that's a whole lot, but I'd put everything I own on it. And again, a situation here where Dahl pitching a fine game. He can't concern himself too much with the runner.
Nope, you got to stay focused on your hitter. That running first really doesn't mean anything. You got a 2-run lead.
Fake going, ball strike, good fastball. Disagreeing, the skipper.
This is the second time they
steal.
disagree with the high pitch.
Yeah, Steele working his way in.
Here's the pitch again. Well, it's right there at the top of the letters. That's it's close. He's called it earlier, so he's somewhat consistent. He's been consistent up there with that pitch. So, you know, as you got to tell your hitters, you got to learn how the umpire is calling the game, whether he's calling a high strike, low strike, strike outside, whatever it might be, you know, you have to adjust to his strike zone.
That one a little bit out of strike zone, a little bit.
Yeah, but you know, still, if he's calling it up there, then you've got to be prepared to swing up there, whether it, you know, it's legitimately a strike or not. The strike zone is from the, you know, the armpits down to the top of the knees, and if an umpire has a varying zone, sometimes they'll, you know, they won't go that high. Maybe they'll go chest high, you know, the rib cage to the knees, and stay within that zone. And the pitch up underneath the armpits is not a strike. So each umpire is a little bit different in their zone.
2-1 the count, nobody out. Chuck Laird on first. Ryan Terry the batter. Need you to go, Chuck. Hadn't gone yet, but the single. He moves on to second base easily as a single for Ryan Terry. So Laird never did attempt to steal, so I guess you got everything I own now.
Well, no, here's a nice base hit to left field. Now that ball was up a little bit, but it, you know, and he may have made that adjustment, said, hey, you know, if he's going to call the high strike, I got to hit that pitch. Now I tell you, you know, I know it's got to be going through their mind, the Duke's mind, that we're going to see that we got first and second and nobody out, and they're a running ball club. So it's going to be a crucial situation.
Indeed, and we'll have a new pitcher to talk about after we take this time out. Runners on the bags for the Redskins, bottom of 5. 2 on, nobody out, bottom of 5. Redskins trail by 2. New pitcher, number 11, John Schiss. 14 games, 2.56 ERA, 8-4 record on the year. Lots of strikeouts, over 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Giving up 26 earned runs in 71 innings pitched. .6'2", 180 pounds. He's a senior. And he faces one of the best hitters in the state in Kelly Dransfeld. Dransfeld singled in the 3rd. Fielder's choice, a comebacker to the mound, played nicely by Jeff Dahl in the 1st inning. And in the major leagues, this is why the relievers get the big money, because this is what you call a jam. 2 on, nobody out, and 2 fast runners on in Laird and Terry at 1st and 2nd. And let's see what Denny Steele's thinking. Dransfeld, a little nubber. They'll have to go to 1st with it, and the runners advance.
Well, I would have said that they would have probably been running within the first 3 pitches to get them to 2nd, 3rd, so he could swing away. And, you know, unfortunately, they had to. He gets jammed on this pitch here. If you take a look, he gets jammed, didn't get the barrel through, and that's why he dribbled the ball to 1st base. Shish came right over and covered 1st base like he should on a ball hit to the right side. So, as I started to say, you know, if you could have had the opportunity to run a little bit and get those guys to 2nd, 3rd, you know, that would have driven in a run and made it a 1-run ball game.
Marcus Seedy, number 4 hitter. Strong average on the year, 4.07. 1st pitch, called strike.
And he's due for base hit.
Flew out to right in the 1st, grounded out to the short, 6-3 in the 3rd. 0 for 2. Chuck Laird, number 5 on 3rd base. Ryan Terry at 2nd. 1 away. Redskins trail by 2. The 0-1. Swung on, hit towards right field. Stamper will be under it. That should score at least 1 run as Stamper makes a crucial mistake, throwing away the baseball, thinking that the inning was over, and we have a tied baseball game. Jim Stamper thought the inning was over, looked to throw the ball to the umpire, and thus both runs score. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's a big mistake. I tell you, that young man's a fine ball player. Soft fly ball to right field. Stamper comes in, makes a routine catch, thinks there's 2 outs, and making the 3rd out on the catch, flips the ball to the umpire, who isn't going to touch it, and both runners score to tie the ball game.
A costly error in the bottom of the 5th inning by Jim Stamper. Laird was going to score, no question.
Well, there's no doubt about that, but you know.
But Terry wasn't. Terry was staying at second base probably, maybe moving on to 3rd. Swung on and missed by Sean Babcock.
Stamper's got a heck of an arm, and that might have been a close play at the plate. That might have been a close play if he'd have, you know, realized that there was only 1 out at the time, and I would love to see him throw.
Babcock lays down a nice bunt, played by Shish. And that retires the side, but not until a costly mistake made in the outfield has tied this game at 4 runs apiece. Top of the 6th inning, 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for York, 4, 6, and 1, and a tough play, tough times for the young man Jim Stamper. Getting some support from his teammates, and it's all about team, man. I mean, there's nobody in the state of Illinois who feels worse about what just happened than Jim Stamper.
And that's, you know, that's unfortunate that happened, and I know how he feels. You hate to have a kid in this kind of a ball game. So much pressure's on you anyway, and you make a mistake, and it just escalates tenfold, you know, and it's just unbelievable. He'll settle down. I think he's a competitor, that he'll come back and you know, he'll wipe that out of his mind and go up there, and he'll try to do something offensively to make up for it.
Well, he'll get his chance this inning. Rory Mira, Jim Stamper will be up 2nd, and then Tom Triplett, 7, 8, and 9 in the order. And Jim Stamper, the same young man who made that incredible play in right field a couple of innings ago and prevented a couple of runs. Because I'll tell you what, that ball a couple of innings ago gets by Jim Stamper. It rolls all the way to the wall in this big park. You got an inside the park home run, and we were tied up at that point at 3 apiece.
Right.
One and 2 the count to Rory Mira. He's a sophomore. He's the DH. Struck out in the 1st inning. Grounded out 6-3 in the 4th. 0 for 2 on the night. Average at 286 presently. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 6 for Kelly Dransfeld.
And he throws this ball up in the strike zone, but he overpowered him. Just a good, hard nose fastball on that one.
Jim Stamper, 185 average. Struck out in the 1st. Hopped to center field in the 4th. Like to get on base and redeem himself for the costly error in the bottom of 5. First pitch outside. Went after it with some aggression. And that'll be a souvenir. Well, the guy who tried to catch it in the stands, it was right outside of our camera view, but he took it in the chest, and he's okay, but man, he went down hard, didn't he?
Yeah, he missed his seat.
So he did miss his seat when he went to sit back down.
But the problem was, he doesn't get to keep the ball.
He didn't even get the ball, did he?
No.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, top of 6. Tie game, 4-4. Class 2A state championship. High, ball 2.
The way Dransfeld throws, he has a tendency to be high with his pitches because he's over the top type pitcher. He comes straight over the top, and a pitcher like that does have a tendency to ride the ball high.
Inside, ball 3. Doug Mulaney shouting down some encouragement to his junior right fielder. Jimmy Stamper, the 3-1 pitch. Laces a base hit right up the middle.
Well, I'm glad that he got that. I mean, that just, boosted his confidence back up to the level where he needs to be. And it's nice to see him come back and separate the game. Again, defense, he was out there, he made a couple mistakes. He come up, he concentrated and hit the ball offensively.
Tom Triplett, 0 for 2 on the evening. Popped to right. Lined and hit the ball pretty well in the 4th inning. A liner to center field. He's the number 9 hitter, so we go to the top of the order, and Sean Bennis. After this, right to the first baseman. Makes the throw to second, and a good one. Gets the lead runner. They go back for the double play, but not in time as Triplett gets down the line. But a heads-up play by Jordan Walker, who threw a rope over to the second baseman, Ryan Terry, to pick off the lead runner, Jim Stamper.
This was a good play, and it was tough play. It's a tough play. The runner was right there going into second base on the slide when I think it was Winton that had handled the ball at short for the force out of second base and coming back not in time, and Triplett went down the line at pretty good speed to beat the throw back to first.
A good job done, Jordan Walker, the first baseman for the Morris Redskins. Larson is their shortstop. Ryan Terry, the second baseman. And a heads-up play in the infield. And disciplined, as we've talked about tonight, something that Dennis Steele stresses. And they were covering, and they knew that that ball was hit sharply enough to the first base side that they could pick off that lead runner. Quick throw back. Tommy Triplett back in time. 2 away here, top of 6. 4-4 ball game. Sean Bennis, the center fielder. Walked twice, scored 2 runs. Runner going, throw, gets away from Chad Larson. That just the 5th man to steal this year off the arm of Mark Braciti.
And that was a curveball that he threw, so it was a little, less on the velocity coming to the plate, giving Triplett an opportunity to get the good jump on the pitch.
So Triplett now in scoring position. Sean Bennis facing a 1-1 count with 2 away. Struck out in the second, walked and scored a run in the first, walked and scored a run in the 5th, fouls that back, count goes 1-2.
Well, I'm really impressed with the speed that these teams have throughout their lineups. Everybody seems to be able to run. They got good running speed, and that's going to keep pressure on you all throughout the game.
Three in the first, 1 in the 5th. High pitch, count goes to 2-2. 4 runs on the board for the Dukes. 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the 5th for the Redskins of Morris. 7 hits for York, 6 hits for Morris. Tie ball game, top 6, 4-4. Kelly Dransfeld really calmed down since that first inning. Misses with the off-speed pitch, the curveball, and the count goes full with 2 away. Now with the speed that we've already seen from Tom Triplett, he's going to be running on the pitch, so base hit may very well turn into the go-ahead run. Get ready for the heater. Throws the off-speed pitch and misses it.
Well, Mike, he seems to be getting his pitches up quite a bit, so I don't know if he's getting a little bit tired out there or not, but I look down in the bullpen for Morris, and they've got Quinn Schaefer loosening up, and I'd asked him in the interview after the semifinal game, I said, could he come back tonight after throwing, the 7 innings in the ball game in the semifinals? And he said, well, he kind of chuckled, and he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to do that. But he said if, he thought if he could, there's a shot of Quinn out there in the bullpen warming up. But I think he would be ready to throw, an inning or two in this championship game, and because it's the last game of the year. It's for all the marbles, and you want to give it every opportunity you can, and it depends upon the player too. If he feels that he can go, he's going to go. But if not, then I don't think the kid will go out there if he doesn't feel that he's capable of doing it.
Quinn Schaefer tossed a 3-hitter this morning. The lefty, just a sophomore. Two on, two out. Pitch misses, ball one. Justin Hallpenny walked and scored a run in the first, struck out in the second, popped to center field in the fifth. And 0 for 2 tonight, 4 for 7 coming into the tournament. So make it 4 for 9 for the young man, hitting .421 on the season. One of the beauties about having the tournament here in a professional baseball facility, if you will, Kane County Cougars play here, is the computerized stats are updated on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it is nice, where you never had that before, and you really didn't know where, what kind of statistics were there. You had as they started the playoffs at the state tournament, the quarterfinal games, so you'd have 2 games that would be missing in stats, and it's nice to have that updated statistics here for these kids.
Of course, here on Sports Channel with our crack graphics coordinator Doug Stanton, we don't actually need that. Well, but it's there if we want to use it.
That's right.
And the bases are now loaded. And do they go to the bullpen yet?
I think he's going to come with it.
He walks Hallpenny on 4 straight pitches. So 2 walks given up. After the fielder's choice, put Triplett on first. 2 away, bases loaded, and who comes up? David Sloan, a right-handed hitter, had great success so far this evening against Kelly Dransfeld. 3 for 3, an RBI double in the first, a shot for a single in the third, single in the fifth. He went opposite way, also has scored a run. David Sloan, the guy we talked about, the inspirational leader of this team. And he's got a chance to give his ball team the lead one more time. And ironically, it's Jim Stamper who got it all started here with the single, and he was victim of the fielder's choice. Goes after the first pitch. 3 Redskins under, and it's hauled down by Ryan Terry. So they stick with Dransfeld, and it pays off. Sloan goes after the first pitch. Through 5 1/2. We're tied at 4-4. Definitely a great place to bring the family. Elmhurst Stadium in Geneva, Illinois. Regular season home to the Kane County Cougars. A week from Monday, we'll have it live here on Sports Channel, the Midwest League All-Star Game. And you want to talk about seeing some of the stars of the future. Maybe that young kid will be one, but on the 21st of June, going to be some of the best baseball players in this area, the Midwest League, and perfect example of what happens to young men who play well at the single-A level and they move up to the major leagues, like Jason Barea of the White Sox. 2 years ago, he was in South Bend pitching for the Class A team there, the lower Class A, because Sarasota's the high Class A, and now Jason Barea, member of the Major League roster. So stars are born in single-A baseball, and the best of them will be here in Kane County. Just over a week. Justin Knapp to lead things off, followed by Ryan Golden and Jordan Walker. Scott Radinsky, another young man who they talk about often and doing the games with Danny Evans in the past. He brags about the fact that Scott Radinsky, a guy who came through, played for the championship team in South Bend, and now he's a Chicago White Sox. Attendance has been great throughout the weekend. As a matter of fact, records set all over the place. Tonight, the attendance 2,558, and that shattered the old record by over 400 fans. So that's just tremendous weekend.
Well, the overall attendance for the 3 sessions was 6,674. So, that gave, that surely surpassed what we've seen down in Springfield the last few years, and this might be a go for quite a while here for the IHSA.
2-2 the count. Nobody out. Leadoff man Justin Knapp takes the pitch inside, and the count goes full. Fifth inning. Chuck Laird single to start things off. Leadoff man was on, turned into 2 runs. Laird and Terry tying us up at 4 apiece. Got him. Justin Knapp wanted to test the umpire for a second, but nonetheless, John Shish with his first strikeout of the evening.
He thought this ball was a little bit outside and low, but about knee high.
Ryan Golden to be followed by Jordan Walker.
Ryan got a base hit the last time and stole second. We had to kind of a delay steal. Nobody covered second. He went all the way to third and was there with no outs. Start the inning.
And as a former a coach right now with your team, you said to me in between innings that might be the ball game.
Well, it could be. That was a crucial point. You know, if they could have held him back, and then base hit would have possibly scored him later. Was it Olsen hit the ball to dribble the kind of slow roller to first base, would have scored him easily with 1 out. So you never know what the situation's going to bring. Sometimes, of course, hindsight's always better than foresight.
May get a chance to do it all over again as he's ahead in the count 3-0. Shish finding the strike zone a problem right here. 4 straight pitches. He walks.
Here we go.
He's the young man Ryan Golden.
Look for him to run here.
Shish on in relief of Jeff Dahl. And the skip's going to have a talk with him, Doug Mullaney, to talk to John Shish. Struck out Justin Knapp to start the inning, and now has walked Ryan Golden on 4 straight pitches. If you're just joining us, started in the top of the first inning with the York Dukes scoring 3 runs. Sean Bennis walked, Justin Halpenny walked, and then an RBI double for David Sloan. A couple of batters later, a single and 2 RBIs for Brad Schmidt. 3 runs on 3 hits in the first for the York Dukes. In the second inning, the Morris Redskins got their first run of the game. A sacrifice fly off the bat of Justin Olsen scored Justin Knapp, and that made the score 3-1. Bottom of 3. Kelly Dransfeld scored the run. He singled to get the first hit of the inning after a pop-up to the mound from Ryan Terry. The RBI single credited to Sean Babcock, and then a little insurance. Well, it was for the time being. Top of 5, Sean Bennis walked, eventually scored a run on an RBI single by Jeff Dahl, who's out of the ball game now. But in the bottom of 5, these young men, the Morris Redskins, scored 2 runs, opened with a single by Laird, a single by Terry, and then a costly error in right field by Jim Stamper on a pop fly. 1 RBI credited to Riccitti. The second run scores on an error, and thus we are tied 4-4. Bottom of 6, 1 away. The state championship on the line. Walker, your batter. Golden, you see right there, number 24, the senior on first base. This is outside. That's the 5th straight ball thrown from the arm of John Shish, and York warming up Jason Crossfeld in the bullpen.
And he threw earlier today. He came in relief, and I'm not sure how many innings he pitched this morning, but they're getting ready because John Shish is starting to struggle a little bit. He's getting a little bit high with his pitches, having a little control problems.
Wise play, the third baseman in. 1. Got him. Double play. A big defensive play by the Dukes of York. And they dodge a major bullet. We have played 6 complete, and we're tied at 4. Well, a heck of a play at third base made by the York Dukes. And that's the pitcher, Jeff Dahl, who's their regular third baseman. So as soon as he was off the mound, he was at third base, and it turns into a 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. So you lose Dahl on the mound, but you gain his expertise at the hot corner, and it turns out to be very positive for the York Dukes.
There we go, top of the 7th.
Well, I suppose this is how a state championship should be, right?
Well, yeah, but as a coach, cushion.
Tied 4 apiece. 4, 7, and 3 on the board for the Dukes, led off by Jeff Dahl. First pitch outside. Kelly Dransfeld has worked the whole evening. Dahl 1 for 3. An RBI and a single in the 5th. Popped out to right, lined out to center. That one delivered in the area of Justin Knapp. Justin underneath and hauls it in. Well, that's the one thing that's nice about high school baseball. You know, we talked about it earlier. Your position players, your pitchers are generally your best position players. Your good pitchers. Dahl leaves the mound but stays in the game, albeit he couldn't get a hit that time. Knapp will work this one in. And quickly 2 away, Brad Schmidt lines out to left.
I tell you, Dahl on that play was playing in pretty far. I was really surprised he was that far in, but boy, fortunately the ball was hit and had a couple bounces and had a high hop to him, and he was able to reach out and make the play and turn the double play. It was a nice double play.
The shortstop, Matt Witten, now 2 away here. Top of 7, tied at 4. What's it been? 3 pitches, 2 outs, huh?
That's what you like.
Kelly Dransfeld appreciates it. He just wants to get business done and then say, hey guys, let's just score a run, get our trophy. Gonna take a second though. Base hit. Matt Witten, his 2nd single of the night. The sophomore, Rory Mura, struck out in the 1st, grounded out to short in the 4th, struck out in the 6th. One of 6 strikeout victims tonight. Kelly Dransfeld has had this young man's number thus far. 16 against 16. Mura against Dransfeld. Runner on first and Matt Witten. Played with the backhand. Nice grab by Ryan Terry. Tosses to Chad Larson. Morris will come to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning. Our score, 4-4 in the 1993 state championship game. There you see the line. 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 5th, 4 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors for the Dukes of York. The Morris Redskins, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, 4-6-1. And an opportunity to score a run and win the 1993 state championship here in the bottom of 7. And they have the number 9, 1, and 2 hitters due up. Justin Olson, Chuck Laird, and Ryan Terry. Laird and Terry in the 5th inning both singled. Justin Olson had a roller back to the mound in the 4th inning, albeit that was against the starting pitcher, Jeff Dahl. Olson a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the 2nd. Takes the first pitch. Ball 1. John Shish, the pitcher. And in relief, Jeff Dahl, he finds a strike zone there.
Well, he's throwing strikes. He's working, you know, he's working quite well. He's still keeping the ball down now, and he's really got to do a lot of concentration this inning.
Gets the inside corner, good fastball.
Olson looks like he's trying to lean out over the plate and, you know, take one for the team, as they say.
He's a sophomore in a senior-laden lineup. And indeed it happens.
That ball was inside though.
Way inside. John Shish hits Justin Olson and the leadoff runner on base, and it looks indeed like we're going to have a pinch runner.
Ball is inside. He just rolls. Looks like he catches him on the side. And they got the leadoff man on, no outs. Top of the order coming up.
Justin Olson comes out on moving in to run. Number 20, that's John Overton. Something tells me this young man possesses some speed.
He's only a sophomore.
Sophomore for sophomore. Overton in, 5'8", 170 pounds, 16 years old. And that's part of that reloading as opposed to rebuilding this senior-laden lineup. And you got a sophomore as your potential state championship winning run on first base. So what do you do here, Coach? You send them? You do the hit and run? Do you bunt them over? What do you like?
I would sacrifice. I'm the one who believes in the bunting game a lot, and I would bunt, sacrifice over, put him at second base. You got 2, 3, 4 coming up after that.
Dennis Steele graduated in 1968 from Morris High School, along with the football coach Dan Darlington. Squaring away to bunt was Chuck Laird. Also the basketball coach Keith Larry. They share in the preparation time of these many three-sport athletes. Wow, what it would mean to this community of Morris, Illinois, to win the 1993 state championship. The count is 1-0 to Chuck Laird. Man on first, he squares away and bunts, like the coach talked about, and the count goes 2-0.
Now he's in a real good position here. Could go bunt and run because you're 2-0. He's not going to want to go 3-0. He's going to put the ball over the plate. Be a great opportunity for a bunt and run.
Morris Redskins looking for their 40th win of the year. 39-2. The Dukes of York 30-8 under head coach Doug Mullaney. Quick check back of the base runner John Overton. The 2-0 pitch, squares to bunt again, pulls it back, call strike.
I think he might be going here. Good pitch to run on 2-1. Again, you don't want to go to 3-1 on him. You want to try to get ahead of the hitter.
The Redskins, as we've mentioned, known for their aggressiveness on the base pass. Bunts it foul, and the count goes 2-2.
Now, in this situation here, I know I have many times. I'll go ahead and bunt that third strike. I mean, we got to have the runner at second base. You got a chance to win the ball game here. They execute it. I'd take the chance on bunting the ball.
John Overton, pinch runner for Justin Olson. They check back towards first base, John Shish. Now he's coming to the plate. Runner stayed, fouled away. Checking back towards first. Chuck Laird popped to shortstop, grounded to third in the first and second innings. Had a single, scored a run in the fifth. 2-2 the count. Nobody out. Lead runner on. Takes it high for ball 3.
He might go here to keep himself out of a double play. 3-2. You know he's going to throw the ball over the plate, get the ball over the plate. The batter's going to be swinging, so he's going to probably be running right here. No.
Overton didn't, and he walked it. Didn't need to move. And now the state championship winning run is in scoring position. And Ryan Terry is the batter, the second baseman, a senior. Walked in the first, popped up to the mound in the third, singled and scored a run in the fifth. And the Dukes want to discuss it. So does Dennis Steele with his lead base runner, John Overton, and the man on first base, Chuck Laird, who showed great discipline at the plate. 2-2 count. Took a couple balls, and now we've got men on first and second, but albeit the only important runner is that lead runner at second base, because if he scores, this ball game's over.
That's true, and what he's probably telling him too is, you know, you got to go on a ground ball. the runner at first base, Overton. He's got to break up, or not Overton, excuse me, Laird. He's got to break up the double play on the ground ball. You got to freeze on the line drive. You cannot be, you know, if the ball is coming off the bat up, you got to freeze and see what happens with it. You can't get doubled up on a line drive. And I would bunt. I would be bunting in this situation, get him second, third. That way, you know, you got the chance here of scoring a run a lot easier from third base than you do second.
Let's see what Ryan does. Squares around a bunt, bunts it back towards the mound, and it's going to drop in. The throw to third, high, and not in time as it gets away. And wisely, they hold the man up at third. Now moving back towards second base is Chuck Laird. But a bunt that got over the head of the pitcher, John Shish. But because it was a high bunt, the runner, John Overton, got stopped, but the throw too high at third. And now bases loaded, nobody out.
He bunts a high strike, or I mean a high fastball, which allows the ball to be bunted up in the air. Fortunately, it was over his head. They had no play anywhere. The ball was overthrown. The runner wasn't aware of it. The coach tried to get him to go. It wasn't in time, so he came back to third base and played it safe. No outs, bases loaded. The infield's got to be in. Your outfield's got to be in. Deep fly ball's going to score him. Base hit, they got to try to throw him out. So, no, here's the ball game right here.
Here's the all-world player in Morris, Illinois, Kelly Dransfeld. First pitch, taking a strike. Kelly Dransfeld, a 500-plus hitter. On his way, full scholarship to Michigan. The starting pitcher in the state championship game has thrown brilliantly after struggling in the first inning, allowing just one run since the first inning. He's already singled and scored a run tonight, looking for the biggest RBI of his life. Chopper to short. They should get the force, and they do. So one away. Dransfeld moves on to first on the fielder's choice. A bouncer to shortstop, and one bullet dodged by the Dukes.
This is great concentration by the shortstop. Winton throws a strike at the plate, and they just concentrate on getting the lead runner at the plate for the force out.
So here the situation, one away, fly ball, anything out of the infield, wins the state championship for you. And now your inspirational leader is at the plate. Mark Ricidi, the young man the coach was so proud to bring to the press conference today. 4-year starter as a catcher. Takes the first pitch, a strike. Ironically, he's the young man who got credit for the RBI and the sac fly, hit the ball in the 5th inning to Jim Stamper that he threw onto the ground. Swung on and missed. Big pitch from John Shish.
And that ball was up. A little bit over anxious. We got 0-2 count, and I don't think he's going to see a fastball. But now we got to worry about if he's going to throw the breaking ball. He's got to keep it out of the dirt, or if it is in the dirt, the catcher, Sloan, has got to take and block the ball. Cannot let it get by him.
Bottom of 7th. Run scores. Morris is the state champion. He squares around a bunt, and now they've got the runner in trouble. Thrown to third, back towards the catcher. Wheeling and dealing, down, and finally retiring the lead runner, Chuck Laird. The team is celebrating in high fashion, and they call him out. So strike 3 call for out number 2. They get the runner for out number 3. We will take a break, and we need one. 4-4. We're moving to extra innings. John Shish, with bases loaded, retires the number 3 and 4 hitter. Ricidi called on strikes right there. And then the runner, Chuck Laird, caught sneaking off third base. Finally run down, a double play to end the inning. We had bases loaded, nobody out for the state championship. And the Dukes have new life, led off in the top of the 8th inning by Jim Stamper. Singled in the 6th inning, popped up to center in the 4th, struck out in the 1st. 1 for 3 on the night. Stamper, a tremendous play in right field earlier this season. Stamper followed by Tom Triplett, and the top of the order, Sean Bennis. Sean Babcock, 1 away. That's twice a man's got caught in a rundown. Third base trying to score for the Morris Redskins.
It is, and you know, and both times very close to not getting the rundown completed. I mean, you know, it was almost like they didn't know where to go or that, but fortunately they've gotten themselves out of the inning. And but again, it's aggressive base running on their part, but in this case here, you know, it cost them a run, possible run.
Kelly Dransfeld still working the mound in his 8th inning of work, and he's still got the pop on the fastball. Well, Coach, doesn't get much better than this.
No, this is exciting. There's been a lot of plays.
Stay here all night if they keep this up. High, ball 1. This game got underway. You had it officially at 7:16. Now about 7 minutes till 10. High, did he go? Yes. Strikeout number 7 on the evening.
He tried to hold back, but he just couldn't. But barrel went beyond the plate. First base umpire agrees and called strike 3.
So Sean Bennis will try to get something going. 2 away here, top of 8. We're in extra innings in the 1993 state championship. This is the Class 2A state championship. Swung on a high fastball, did Sean Bennis. Bennis, the recipient of 3 walks on the evening, struck out in the 2nd inning. Scored a couple of runs. Senior center fielder.
You know, you see his stats, 222 hitting, but he scored 40 runs at the leadoff spot. He's getting on base, just like tonight. Like you said, he got on 3 times, and he scored 2 out of those 3 times.
This is inside, 2-1 the count. Last weekend in Springfield, Lewistown, a record of 30-3 on the year, coached by Ned Graham. The single A state champions for 1993. Got the call that time, 2-2, 2 away. Last year, Andrew High School from Tinley Park won over Belleville West 12-1 in the state championship. As we mentioned at the top, this will be the first state title for one of these 2 teams. Home plate up once time. In an interesting ball game, to say the least. They jump on the ace, and then you have the blunder in right field. And you have the good scoring opportunities not coming your way, and you have this young man from Michigan wheeling and dealing the fastball. Strikes out 2 in the 8th. Or if come to bat with a chance to win again. Great baseball game. The first ever state championship played here at Elmhurst Stadium in Geneva, Illinois. A record-setting weekend, as I mentioned earlier. 2,106 for the quarterfinal. That a record. 2,010 for the semifinals earlier today. 2,558 for the finals. A tournament total of 6,674 have seen a wild baseball game. Sean Babcock to lead things off here, bottom of 8. Squares to bunt, takes ball 1. Justin Knapp followed by Ryan Golden. John Shish on the mound in relief of Jeff Dahl for the York Dukes. Jammed him, fouled it off. If you're just joining us, you have missed some great high school baseball. And we've seen really, I think, a small facet of what high school baseball is all about. We've seen some great plays. We've seen some plays that I think the coaches would rather not have seen. But that's all about the maturing process in high school athletics. Babcock hits the ball hard. Moving in on it was Triplett. He readjusted and hauled it down. It really has been a microcosm of high school athletics tonight.
It is. And you know, you're dealing with teenagers. You're dealing with young men. It's a maturing process. You're going to make mistakes. We know that. There's going to be physical mistakes. There's going to be mental mistakes. It's all part of the game. And but yet, on the same token, you see some great plays too.
Justin Knapp with one away, try to get things going. Swung on and missed, and Shish has really brought the heat to about the last 4 batters. Last inning, bases loaded, nobody out. The number 3 hitter with a 500+ average, Kelly Dransfeld, hits into a fielder's choice. A 2-hopper to shortstop, which was thrown home for the force out to get the lead runner. Then he strikes out Mark Ricidi, the number 4 hitter, a 407 batter. And then they got the man stuck in between third and home to retire the third out. Hit well. That was straight. That might have actually been a home run in Kane County Stadium.
That could have been, but you look at the flag, and the flag's not blowing like it was earlier.
Justin Knapp, 7 home runs on the year. The chances of seeing a home run in a professional ballpark like this from these youngsters, not very good, but that ball was well hit.
I mean, you know, they can hit the ball with some power, and you're 335 down the line. That's definitely reachable.
400 straightaway center. Hits it. 2-hopper, foul ball. That was played by Jeff Dahl at third base.
One thing about this ballpark, from the foul line, it drops quickly. It goes out, and I don't know. They don't have anything up in the power alleys, but I imagine it's somewhere around 375 to the power alleys. You know, and that's a good poke. Of course, 400 center field's a good poke. But if you pull the ball and get it down the lines, it's reachable.
That's what Knapp did a second ago. Just got the head of the bat a little bit too far in front. 1-2 the count, 1 away. Got it with the off-speed stuff. That young man.
And Knapp just didn't pick up the rotation of the ball quick enough.
Third strikeout for John Shish. Ryan Golden, the senior. Throwing bullets now. Hoping to move it to the top of 9. This is low and away, ball 1. Dukes of York have been a big play team all year long, and they have come up with some big plays tonight defensively. Good kids, hard workers. Doug Mullaney feels like these young men truly deserve to be here. They want to get another chance to go ahead in this baseball game. And the count stands 2-2 on Ryan Golden. Jordan Walker, if he gets the opportunity, in the on-deck circle.
It almost seems like the atmosphere is just kind of, everybody's just kind of settling back and just kind of sitting down and just, you know, watching the game now. I guess some of the excitement is kind of lost a little bit. It just seems things have just calmed down.
Hard to enjoy the game with your stomach in your throat or your heart in your throat, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole town of Morris is here. That was guaranteed by Dennis Steele. And a lot of people from suburban Elmhurst, Illinois, right outside of Chicago, hoping that the York Dukes will be the state champions. A couple of weeks ago, you probably could have said, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Morris was here based on record. York might be the surprise team, not to themselves, but maybe to some of the others around the state. 3-2 the count, 2 away. Golden swung and missed. Strikeout number 2 of the inning, 4 on the evening for Shish. We move it to the 9th, tied at 4. We have played 8 complete innings in the 1993 IHSA Class 2A State Championship game. York and Morris knotted at 4 runs apiece, 4-8-3 for the Dukes. For the Redskins, 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. And still on the mound, the starter tonight, Kelly Dransfeld. 8 innings pitched, allowing 8 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 8 strikeouts, 5 walks. And of the 5 walks, 3 of those have turned into runs.
Yep, and you know, that's been a big difference in this ball game. We didn't have those walks early, this game would be over.
No question about that. Leading things off, Justin Halpenny, followed by David Sloan. Jeff Dahl, the starting pitcher, now the third baseman for the Dukes. Halpenny, couple of walks, runs scored, 0 for 2 on the night. Struck out in the second, popped up in the 5th. We mentioned earlier, Halpenny, 6 RBIs in the win over New Trier yesterday. That's a state tournament record. Had another RBI earlier today. Quick turnaround, too, for the Dukes of York. Their game did not end till about 3 o'clock, Mike. Now they're playing in extra innings, but hey, you're a high school kid. You've got all the energy in the world, and this is the state championship. So fatigue isn't even a word used, is it?
No, you know, the excitement, the adrenaline's compounded here when you get there. They, like you say, they won the game, and they were over around 2, 3 o'clock, whatever it was, and the adrenaline's flowing. You're going to go back to the hotel or home and just, you know, lay down just for a few minutes to rest a little bit, and come back and go after it.
St. Lawrence really got rocked earlier today by these Dukes. Crystal Lake South, the loser, but congratulations to those 2 fine teams. The 3rd place winner was the team from St. Lawrence, but hey, there's a lot of teams, over 700 of them, that start the year, and only 4 get to the final day of play, so take nothing away from those 2 teams. It was just one of those days when nothing could go right, and the consolation game is just on 9 hits, 17 runs scored. So I was happy to see the young men from St. Lawrence come back and win that consolation game. Take nothing away from Crystal Lake South, but who wants a 17-3 loss to be the last thing to think about all summer long?
That's true.
Three and 2 the count to the leadoff man, Justin Halpenny. Walked him. 3rd time today. David Sloan, he has had a tremendous evening. Popped to second in the 6th to end the inning, though. Left a couple of runners on base. Singled in the 5th. Singled in the 3rd. Had an RBI double. Lays down a nice bunt. Advances the runner to second. Good sacrifice by David Sloan. And now the go-ahead run in scoring position for the Dukes.
Well, that was, you know, you have, again, you know, you try to get that run in a scoring position with only 1 out with the sacrifice bunt here, and you lose a good hitter doing that, but yet you've got the runner in scoring position. Base hit will possibly score him, and, you know, you take the lead right here. There was a situation there on that bunt that the 3rd baseman, when he fielded the ball, the catcher usually exchanges with him. The catcher goes down to cover 3rd, but he didn't do it. And if the runner, you know, nobody was really attentive to that, where he could have possibly maybe gone on the 3rd base with it.
The dugout, the assistant coaches of Morris are motioning to the right fielder. That's Sean Babcock to come in a little bit. as the batter is none other than Jeff Dahl. Pops the first one back and out of play. Dahl was the starting pitcher this evening. Now still in the game, playing third base. Line hit a shot in the first inning to center fielder. Popped to right in the third. RBI single in the fifth, and he popped out to left field in the seventh inning. Back in the ninth with the go-ahead run in scoring position, number 7, Justin Hallpenny. One away. Tied at 4, state championship. Jammed him again.
To me, the center fielder and left fielder looked awful deep in the outfield. I would not play, the way the balls have not carried in the ballpark. I wouldn't be that deep at this time.
High and inside, ball 1. Dahl had a big day earlier. 3 for 4, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs this afternoon, so he's capable of driving in runs. There's no question about that. 31 RBIs on the season. Missed again with the fastball. Count goes even at 2 apiece.
Of course, if I'm not mistaken, when we were in a conference that Coach Steele said he was talking about his ball players going back on balls. They weren't as good at doing that. So probably he's got them back so that they could come hard because of their speed, that they could charge the ball a lot easier and keep the ball in front of them and reduce the extra base hit where it's going to score him easily and possibly get him on the single.
In describing his outfield, Mike, he said one of the fastest in the state by far. Strong up the middle, and indeed they have trouble backpedaling, but they've got the speed. He feels confident about them charging the baseball. They've been near perfect tonight, that's for sure. High, walked it. That's 2 walks given up in this inning by the ace, Kelly Dransfeld, who we should note is working in the 9th inning. He started the game, has thrown a lot of pitches, and high school guys generally go 7 innings tops.
Right. Once in a while you'll run into an 8 or 9 inning game, but it's not that often in the season when you do. And but again, you're looking. You started March 1, and now it's June 12th, and their arms are good and loose. The weather finally broke, giving you good warm weather. Your arm, you're capable of throwing a lot more pitches than you are with the early part of the season.
We just talked about the fact that fatigue does not set in mentally because you're so keyed up. But if the arm of a pitcher starts to go, it doesn't matter if it's a state championship. The arm of a pitcher starts to go, doesn't it?
Well, the biggest thing that causes a pitcher to get tired are his legs. If he's not in shape, if he's not a good physical athlete by conditioning and running, and pitchers need to run, they need to do their exercises, and when they get tired, it's because of legs a lot of times.
Takes the first pitch, delivers a gapper on the run and in trouble. Throw inside, go ahead run, coming to the plate. And the Dukes lead by 1. 5-4 the score. An RBI single for Brad Schmidt, scoring Justin Hallpenny with the go-ahead run.
Again, Schmidt hits the ball deep to left center. The outfield is deep, but they can't close the gap to cut it off. It's a nice strong throw by Laird, but it's not in time at the plate. But one thing that did do by playing that deep, it kept Dahl from going from first to third on that, because otherwise they'd had been going back on the play and tracking the ball down. So now you got runners first, second. You still got the double play in order, and you can get yourself out of a possibility on a ground ball.
And what happens once again to the young man, Kelly Dransfeld? He walks the leadoff runner, and he scores a run. 3rd time in the baseball game that has happened. Walked the leadoff runner, Sean Bennis. In the 1st, leadoff hitter. In the 5th, Sean Bennis, leadoff hitter. Justin Hallpenny here in the 9th. They've all scored runs. Halpenny was walked in the first and also scored. 4 walks, 4 runs. Walked 7 on the night, 4 of them very costly. Now he just wants to get himself out of this inning. There's still a man in scoring position, 1 away, and a good hitter in Matt Winton. 2 for 4 tonight, couple of singles. Flies shallow right field. Charging Sean Babcock, and he drops the baseball. He should have time to regroup and at least get 1 man at second, and he does. Good recovery by Sean Babcock, but a man on third base now in the form of Jeff Dahl.
This was a shallow fly ball. Whitten pops the ball to right field shallow. He just took his eyes off. You can see in the replay that he was looking to second base to see if the runner was tagging. But he recovered the ball and forced the runner at second base.
1-run lead, 2 outs here, top of 9. Number 16, the sophomore DH, Rory Mura. If you're looking ahead to the bottom of the inning, batters 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Redskins. Swung on and missed.
Nice cut, but he pulled his head out on the swing, so it's going to be pretty hard to hit a ball when you're pulling your head.
Mura's last appearance, he grounded out. Grounded out 4-6. Right up the middle. Gotta hurry. They get there on a couple of hops. Chad Larson gets the force runner. But the Dukes of York are 3 outs away from the 1993 state championship. Back for the bottom of 9 after this. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Redskins of Morris had bases loaded, nobody out. A lot of people around the state of Illinois ready to crown them as champions. With the number 3 and number 4 hitters coming up, nobody out. All you need is a baseball to fly out of the infield. Instead, they are now 3 outs shy of being defeated by the York Dukes, who got a run in the top of the 9th inning. Extra innings here to go ahead 5-4 in the baseball game. As I mentioned, 8-9-1. Jordan Walker, Justin Olson, Chuck Laird due up here in the bottom of the 9th, all to face a very effective John Shish, who came in for Jeff Dahl, who is now at third base for the Dukes. Shish, 4 strikeouts thus far in a couple innings of relief.
Done a fine job. He's been very consistent going around the plate. He's keeping ahead of the hitters, and therefore, you know, that keeps the hitter off stride for, you know, he can throw the ball where he wants to pitch.
Missed outside. Count goes 2-2 to the leadoff man, Jordan Walker. Little chopper. Justin Halpenny on a couple of hops. 1 away. Dukes are 2 outs away from being crowned state champions. Justin Olson, who can re-enter the game in high school baseball, who was pinch run for by John Overton. Was hit by the pitch in the 7th inning, and that started to load the bases. But the Redskins could not put the Dukes away, and he takes the first delivery from John Shish high. The leadoff batter, Chuck Laird, who's had a good night, is on deck. That's strike 1. Justin Olson, just a sophomore, high and inside, ball 2. He had a sacrifice fly for an RBI in the 2nd inning. Rolled it back to the mound in the 4th. The 2-1. Just outside, count goes 3-1.
Well, you got to come back now and just tell yourself, okay, he's not on base yet. Throw one pitch at a time. Make him earn it.
Gets the call strike. Good off-speed delivery. Full count to Justin Olson. The 3-2. Got him. Strikeout number 5 for John Shish. And the Redskins of Morris are down to their last out.
A good hard fastball here. Right on the corner.
Might be looking at your MVP of the game right there, number 11.
He's done a good job. He's done a good job.
Pitch down to the jam in the 7th inning. Got him out of trouble in the 6th inning, as a matter of fact. Inside to Laird.
But the hardest out in baseball is right here.
And you got a guy with a lot of speed. He gets on the base pass. He can be a terror. Inside, ball 2. 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 9th. 5-4 lead for the Dukes. Redskins 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th. And the count goes 3-0 on Chuck Laird. 2 outs here, bottom of the 9th. Laird singled and scored in the 5th. Was on the base pass when the bottom of the 7th inning fell apart for the Redskins, and taking all the way Laird, delivering the strike, Shish. The 3-1. Call strike. 1 strike away. The Dukes of York. Laird against Shish. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on, laced in for a base hit. Nice bit of hitting by Chuck Laird. A 3-2 count, 2 outs, and he singles to right center field.
He fought that one off pretty nice. He did a good job. Good spot of hitting right there.
That the first hit for the Morris Redskins since the 5th inning, because all the trouble that York got into in the 7th was because of walks and a fielder's choice and a hit batsman. Dennis Steele upset about something. Didn't catch what the discrepancy was, Mike.
I didn't either. I didn't see it. I don't know what he's complaining about.
Could be a show of emotion in the ear of his number 2 batter, Ryan Terry. Just to mentally get him focused and get him mad. Maybe he just performs better when he's a little upset.
That could be.
So the tying run is at first base. Chuck Laird. Ryan Terry, a senior. You've got Kelly Dransfeld and Mark Rusiti. 2 seniors, your number 3 and 4 hitters coming up. 2 away here. Bottom of the 9th inning. The Dukes 1 out away from the state championship. Coming towards the mound. Strike 1. Caught the inside corner. That's a strong pitch right there, my friend.
That was inside pitch, and I tell you, Morris has been crowding the plate, you know, when they're taking a pitch and trying to see if they can possibly get hit on that ball, but that ball was a strike on the inside corner.
They're keeping an eye on the base runner, Chuck Laird. Laird stolen 60 bases this year. If he goes, he better get there, or this ball game's over. And he's on the way. Pitch outside, throw down to second, not in time. Bounces into center field, and he'll hold up at second base. Chuck Laird, who holds the state record for stolen bases, gets a very important one and gets himself into scoring position as he is the tying run in tonight's baseball game.
He gets a good jump. Ball was a little bit outside, and a throw down in the dirt. It wouldn't have been in time, but the center fielder, a good job by Venice to get in and, you know, keep him from going to third.
They're a tough young man to pick off. So now Ryan Terry says to himself, let's get a single and let's tie this baby up.
Or will he still third?
Great point. Aggressive on the base pass. Never been a question for the Morris Redskins, has it? Pitch, call, strike. So now the count's 1-2, and now it is John Shish's show.
I think he's going to send him. I think he'll send him down here. They're not really holding him on. Get him moving in case there is a base hit or maybe a ball in the hole that they got to make a play at a long throw to first. He could possibly score.
Shish comes to the plate. High. He does send the runner. Throw is high, and he's safe at third. Another stolen base for Chuck Laird. And the count is even at 2.
Well, nobody really held him tight, and he just took off. Pitch was up. A good throw, I think, would have had him. But the throw was high.
Still pretty simple, though. Got to get the base hit. 2 away, 2-2. Shish. Yeah, can he? Will he? Swung on, popped up. Breaking for it. Sloan, and he missed it. That was the state championship right there as David Sloan made a valiant effort on the foul tip.
Oh, boy. Everything in Murphy's Law, wouldn't you say?
We've had it all. We have had it all.
Oh.
Man, oh man. Count remains the same. 2-2 to Ryan Terry. Tying run at third base and Chuck Laird. Shish delivers, swung on, and he got him. And the Dukes of York are the 1993 state champions. Six strikeouts in relief by John Shish in extra innings. 9 innings. The Morris Redskins defeated for just the 3rd time this season by the young men from York High School. Your final score, York 5, Morris 4. We'll be back to wrap it up after this. The final in 9 innings. The Dukes of York, the 1993 state champions. 5 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors. The Morris Redskins, 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. Shish deservingly gets the win. Dransfeld suffers his first loss of the year, and this is how it ended. The arm of John Shish for strikeout number 6 in relief. Ryan Terry with a runner on third base, the victim of the strikeout. And the Morris Redskins, who had bases loaded, nobody out in the 7th, unbelievably lose the state championship to these fine young men from York High School. Well, you just mentioned it, Mike McDonald, our first time to work together, and I don't know if we will ever top this because we had everything tonight.
Well, this was a great game to have for the first game at this fine stadium up here at Kane County, and it's just it was great. I mean, you couldn't ask for more excitement in a ball game throughout.
It'll be interesting to see if the Morris Redskins are back a year from now for the Final Four, and how about these young men? They will come back next year when baseball season begins as the state champions. Our next IHSA event on Sports Channel will be a rebroadcast of the 1992 IHSA Class 5A Football Championship, Monday, June 28th at noon. This game has been produced and directed by Dave Turner. The graphics coordinator is Doug Stanton. Our executive producer at Sports Channel is Greg Bowman. Remote facilities were provided by Trio Video of Chicago. Once again, the 1993 IHSA Class 2A baseball champions, the Dukes of York. For Mike McDonald, I'm Mike Goldberg saying so long, everybody. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel. Coming up next, the Sports Channel Report and Jim Blaney. So long, everybody.